should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better.
Sorry, y'all. Went to get my coffee. Hold on just a minute.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hello, speculating family. Thank you so very much for being here. You guys are amazing, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for hanging out with me every day. I appreciate each and every single one of you. It's good to see you at DJ. Good to see you, Edith, Jenny Jen, Lori Ann. It's great to see you. Thank you for being here. Ruth Ann and Shelby. It's great to see y'all. Hannah UK. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Snarky Pants, it's good to see you, dear. Thank you for being here. Michael Green Chili Chicken and Cindy from sunny South Florida. Buzzy Fuzzy Butt, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate y'all. Cara, good to see you, my love. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Okay. Yeah, you need your strength, buddy. Make sure you get some rest. We got a lot of things to talk about today. No, you're amazing. Thank you for the compliment. So okay. In the Summer Wells case, there was somebody on YouTube with the last name Hill. Benny Hill or some shit. I don't know. This person came on and talked about Summer Wells, and I cannot remember for the life of me who it is. And it's interesting. I want to know because Fred Hill owns the house where they went to go searching for Summer Wells most recently. And I'm trying to kind of figure out who it is. I've got some ideas of some places to look, and so I figured we'd do that together. We will start with we'll go ahead and start with actually yeah, I think we're going to start with something that is not on my thumbnail that I didn't mention in the live stream, which y'all might find interesting. I don't know. Reminds me of UK slapstick. So maybe that's where I'm getting it from. But there's somebody that owned that land. The land went back to the bank. When we looked up the property records, it said it was owned by somebody named Fred Hill. And there's somebody with the last name Hill involved in the Summer Wells case deeply, but I don't know who it is. So we're going to figure it out together. Or maybe we're going to figure out that I'm just crazy. Who the hell knows? Either way, we're going to figure it out this here day. So we're going to talk about something real quick, briefly, that is not on my thumbnail. And that's going to be these Epstein files. We have a little bit of information out about them. And I do have a couple of what is supposed to be the Epstein emails. His sister Karen said the bank took it back. Where did Karen, do you know where this person talked about it? Karen, where did you see that? Because I would love to talk about that. We're all a little crazy, aren't we, though? Benny Keys. Okay, so I might be, because Cameo, OG, good to see you. Benny Keys, I'm going to write that down. Benny Keys, because that could be who I'm thinking about. If I'm thinking about Benny Keys, who has the last name Hill that is involved in the Summer Wells case? Benny Hill is the name of a famous British comedian that did skits on TV, the Benny Hill Show. So maybe that's what I'm thinking about. But I swear for God, there was one with the last name Hill. And I thought it could be Fred Hill. I'm thinking of Ziggy. Somebody named Ziggy. I don't know who that is, but I've heard of them before. Who is Ziggy with? Does that person have the last name Hill? There's somebody that come on these YouTube streets talking about Summer Wells with the last name Hill. If his name is Fred Hill, that's who the property's name was in before the bank allegedly took it back. This Fred Hill person. Connie, good to see you. Fred Hill married Ziggy. So that's got to be what it is then. That's what I'm thinking about. Okay. So I need more information on Fred Hill. That's what we're going to look at today. Because Fred Hill, like I said, owns the land. Good to see you, Karen. And thank you guys for helping me figure this out. Karen goes on a couple of channels I follow. What channels, Buzzy? You can drop channel names in my chat. I don't mind that at all. I just asked that, like, if they're live right now, you don't go like, oh, they're live right now. But other than that, if y'all got channels, drop them. Rhonda, good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so we're going to be looking into Fred Hill and Ziggy, I guess, today. Six Up Media. I know who Six Up Media is. I'm writing this down. All right. So quickly, we're going to touch on the Epstein files. I have a few of them. Or emails. I have this article, and then we're going to look at some of the emails. This article reads, which Epstein files have already been released? Attorney General Pam Bondi confirmed Wednesday that the Justice Department will release its files from the federal investigation into Jeffrey Epstein within 30 days following near unanimous passage of the Epstein Files Transparency Act in Congress. Epstein, a financier, was convicted in 2008 of soliciting prostitution from a minor and later faced federal sex trafficking charges before his death in 2019. I think Epstein's still alive, personally. I think, like many actors and politicians and things, he had a body double. That's just me, though. Call me crazy. Here is a quick video on it.
On this vote, the yeas are 427, the nays are 1. 2/3 being in the affirmative.
Lola.
The rules
Thank
are
you, Buzzy.
suspended. The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
All right. The article continues. The House passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act on a 427-1 vote on Tuesday. The Senate quickly followed with a unanimous consent, avoiding a roll call, speeding approval of the release of the remaining files connected to the Epstein investigation. To catch up, below is a list of records that have already been released and what may still remain classified. Here's a breakdown of the documents revealed so far. Flight logs in the Black Book. In February of 2025, the Justice Department released the first batch of declassified documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, including flight logs and his contact book. Officials said the release was part of a broader transparency effort, though the files contained little new information beyond what had already been circulated publicly. Epstein's Black Book of Contents first surfaced in 2009 when his butler attempted to sell it to lawyers. The FBI seized the book. Portions of it was published in 2015, and it eventually became fully unredacted through court filings, leaks, and finally a formal government release. The flight logs and the Black Book included names of prominent figures such as Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, former Prince Andrew, Alan Dershowitz, Kevin Spacey, Jean-Luc Brunel, and Larry Summers. None of those individuals have been convicted on any Epstein-related crime and deny all wrongdoing. Prison video and a bombshell memo. A July 2025 memo from the Justice Department and FBI concluded there was no Epstein client list, rejecting claims of homicide or blackmail after reviewing more than 300 gigabytes of digital data and physical evidence, including hard drives, cabinets, and squad areas. The systematic review revealed no incriminating client lists. Investigations also found no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals. Quote, we did not uncover evidence that could predicate any investigation against uncharged third parties, unquote, the memo stated. Consistent with prior disclosures, the review confirmed that Epstein harmed more than 1,000 victims, each suffering unique trauma. Sensitive information relating to victims was intertwined throughout the materials, including names, likenesses, physical descriptions, places of birth, associates, and employment history. One of our highest priorities is combating child exploitation and bringing justice to victims. Perpetrating unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither of those ends, the memo says. Alongside new disclosures, the memo included video files from Epstein's prison cell the night he died. Epstein was found deceased in his cell in the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York on August 10th of 2019. The medical examiner ruled his death a self-deletion by hanging. I have never seen that video. Have y'all seen that video? He had 3 body doubles. See? AJ, good to see you, love. I think he's still alive too. Yep, exactly. I think so too. I'm suspicious of the audacity. Oh no, the authenticity of these files coming out. They were all fighting them, and then all of a sudden they're cool with them. Something doesn't smell right. I'm noticing the same thing. Good to see you, AJ. In this day and age, it would be very difficult to hide a false death. You would need so many people to all be in cahoots with each other, and that's without even taking into account us and the public. The public, who most have a phone and will snap a pic quickly. Well, from what I remember, the night that he died, the guards mysteriously fell asleep. The camera feed was cut, and then he was allegedly deceased. He had body doubles, and they were exploiting victims for so long, so long. All these prominent figures were involved, and that shit was kept quiet. And he even got off of the first charge. He got off of it. So if they were able to keep all this shit quiet for so long, I don't think that the CIA would have a problem faking his death. That's just my thought and opinion, because I mean the freaking United Kingdom royal family was involved, a whole bunch of politicians and judges and lawyers and presidents, and I think it's possible. That's just me though. I believe he was homicided. The cutting of the sheets without having cutting utensils. Dr. G broke down the videos in his cell area. Homicided. One of the two. Victoria, good to see you. Just made April, good to see you. I don't trust any in the information either. UTD, good to see you. I'm obsessed with those shoes. This is the 3rd time I've seen them. There are some cute shoes that keep being advertised, but they're like $190 because I clicked on them. Kim Gettle, good to see you. Wolfpack, good to see you. I do too. I hope they release all the names as well. You don't believe it because you don't believe the camera is recorded because they did it. Hold on a minute. What oil are you looking for?
I'm looking for something to put on my face so I can make like foundation.
Well, essential oils is not those. I'll help you with that later. Okay. Because if you put like eucalyptus in it, your face is gonna burn. Sorry, y'all. Okay. If it wasn't the USA CIA, it was MI5 in the UK, in my opinion. They stopped recording while that took place. They did. I think he was homicided. I mean, yeah, at this point, all the damn conspiracy theories, you know? The Justice Department described the footage as the, quote, full, raw, unquote, surveillance video from a camera near Epstein's cell. However, the footage fueled further confusion. Wire reported the metadata showed the video had been modified, most likely using Adobe Premiere Pro and, quote, assembled from at least 2 source clips saved multiple times, exported, and then uploaded to the DOJ's website, unquote. A quote, missing minute, unquote, in the surveillance footage also drew scrutiny. Bondi initially claimed the roughly 61-second gap was due to a DVR reset. The full missing minute was later released in September of 2025. Can watch the footage released by the DOJ here. Oh, it's a whole 10-minute video. Let me see if y'all want to watch that before we move on. Hold on, I gotta open my YouTube and do a poll. Do. Hold on just a minute. Don't start messing with me right now, YouTube. Maybe it's because I went on the DOJ website. Did you? Okay, thank you, Cindy. What the Sam hell? That's freaking weird, y'all. Dang it. Okay, well, I lost the rest of the email. I mean, the article just now. It just decided to go away. If y'all need me to pull it back up, I can. We'll look at these emails on X real quick while y'all vote on the other video. Okay, there's a couple of emails here that are allegedly the Epstein emails. Now, I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see. I don't know. This is X. I don't know that it's accurate. All right, y'all. This is too much. Andrew said, yes, homicide. Too many coincidences for a unaliving. Is it okay, I got to yeet myself. Hold on a minute. Okay, hopefully. Look. The hell. Damn it, Bobby. Okay, let's try this again. I had to yeet. I said yeet. It only started happening after I went to the DOJ website, y'all. The video and the logs from that night were altered. Interesting. Got to remember, Epstein's reach was far beyond the U.S. This could potentially stir up things abroad, too. Yep, I agree. Hey, Rachel. Paul Hill, the ones that owns the property law, allegedly Fred Hill's uncle who's married to Ziggy. Probably. So we got Paul Hill. Let me write this down. Paul Hill owns... Because when I looked it up, it said Fred Hill. And I knew I'd heard that name before. And I can show y'all. I can pull it up again and show y'all where it says Fred Hill owns the property. And then Fred Hill is married. It's allegedly Fred Hill's, married to Ziggy. All right. So I think we got it. I think y'all have helped me figure that out. But we're going to look into some videos. It burns like fire with eucalyptus oil around your eyes. Yeah, she said she was trying to get one of my essential oils to like make her foundation. She's out of her little foundation thing and she wanted to like, I guess she's scraping the sides and trying to make some. But I need to get her like some fractionated coconut oil or something for that. Which I'd rather do. I'd rather give her some of my all natural Botox stuff because it's safe for your skin. She's a teen, so it'll keep her face from breaking out. Spiritual conduit, good to see you. Okay, I'll try to pull that article up again if we need to, but right now we're going to look at the emails that I found. I don't know if these are true. I wasn't there. I didn't see. So this one says on July 29th of 2016 at 8:19 a.m., Jeffrey E. wrote, 2 p.m. fine, yes. In fact, when she told Donald she was pregnant. Okay, 2 p.m. fine. Yes. In fact, when she told Donald she was pregnant, I lost a $10,000 bet with him and sent him a truck of baby food in payment. But I have not spoken to her in many years since then. She can tell you the story of her friend who was caught having relations with her shoes. Yes, shoes. On Friday, July 29th at 8:16 a.m. Oh, okay, so I read it wrong. This was the first one. Deepak Chopra wrote, FaceTime may be easier. What? No. Mine is, I can do 2 p.m. Have meetings before then. I will take you up on your offers, revisiting one of your places when you are there. I can also do 12 noon or any other time tomorrow. By the way, do you know Marla Maples? Anything we share is between us. I share nothing with anyone but trust you. And then he said 2 p.m. fine. Yes. In fact, when she told Donald she was pregnant, I lost a $10,000 bet with him and sent him a truck of baby food in payment. But I've not spoken to her in many years since then. She can tell you the story of her friend who was caught having sex with her shoes. Yes, shoes. Okay. Here is another one. Did sound like shoes may be a code word. I know hot dogs and pizza are code words. allegedly sent the list of visitors to the island. Exactly. Voidzilla does a great breakdown of the video proof that was released. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, this is allegedly from Kathy Rumler to Jeffrey Epstein on September 19th of 2014 at 11:54 a.m. Importance high. This is a response to something, and it says, it doesn't look like you're prioritizing your schedule very effectively. How are you going to manage all of that? This is Unga week, so the boss will be in town too. I'll be here all week. You may get sick of me. Just sat down on the train, so can't talk freely. I keep reading them backwards. So she's responding to an email that he sent the same day at 7:48 a.m. and he wrote, "Girls, careful, I will renew an old habit. This week, Thiel, Summers, Bill Burns, Gordon Brown, Jagland, Council of Europe and Noble Chairman, Mongolia Press, Hardi Pure, India, Boris Gates, Jarber Qatar, Sultan Dubai, Coslin Harvard, Lean Black, Woody. You are all welcome guests at any. Also, if you think there are interesting people in town, everyone here for Climate Summit, Clinton, Security Council. Holy shit, I'm on something for the next 30 minutes." And then the person responded, "Doesn't look like you're prioritizing your schedule very effectively. How are you going to manage all of that? This is Unga week, so the boss will be in town too. I'll be here all week. You may get sick of me. Just sat down on the train, so can't talk freely." What the fuck does that mean? Shoes is a code word. Diddy had code words. Yep. Pizza was one of his too, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. Deepak was one of those life gurus. Deepak Chopra is a reporter. I've heard about a woman who married a tree, but I don't think it was in Sweden. I've heard about that too. And one that married like a carnival ride. They do weird shit. One married her baby dolls. I don't think they necessarily need to be in insane asylums like they used to do. I mean, if they're not hurting anybody, hey, do you, boo? Okay, and then this, I don't know what this is. It says Larry Summers, Lawrence Krass, Noam Chomsky, Sultan Ahmed bin Salim, Ed Barak, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, Peter Mandelson, Ken Starr, Steve Bannon, Catherine Ruhlmer, Deepak Chopra, Soon Yi Previn, Michael Wolff, Landon Thomas Jr., Ariane D. Rothschild, Jess Stately, Tom Pritzker, Jonathan Farkas, and Peter Thiel. Larry Summers, Academia Government. Summers, the former president of Harvard University and U.S. Treasury Secretary, exchanged at least 86 emails with Epstein through mid-2019, sending news articles and bantering about current events and world affairs, often including Trump. Sometimes the conversation veered more personal. Epstein even repeatedly advised Summers on his love life. This is from Larry Summers, March 16, 2019 at 9:38 p.m. to Jeffrey Epstein. Subject response, disaster, but maybe I. And it says, figuring out how. Could say she has now used up 80% of what she owned through my changes in plan. Or say Z changes meeting with Trump. I think she is tired of this alias. Sustaining with secrecy hard. And that was sent from an iPhone. Supposedly, there's some of the emails that I found on X. There's a list on CNN, but like I have to pay for it. Then there's these black ones. I don't know what they are. hold on, we'll go to back over here. See, they're put out like this. If I click media, it just shows me these. Somebody's got the complete digital footprint of Epstein emails on Etsy, they say. Hope this email finds you well. How the email found me. Okay. Guys, look, another groundbreaking private email from Jeffrey. Trump is a smelly idiot and aliens killed me. See, that's the shit you got to watch out for. That's all I'm finding so far. Breaking new twist in Epstein email scandal, TMZ live clip. What is this? Hold on just a minute.
Welcome to TMZ Live. Donald Trump is in some trouble because the House Oversight Committee, the Democrats, have released a slew of emails. And when you put them all together, it looks like there is something that Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump knew about their relationship that Epstein was saying Trump did not want to get out.
Right. And
Okay, so this is what I've heard about. And I had not seen it in the email list, so this is one video that I had been looking for. Deepak Chopra is a famous natural holistic health and wellness author. All code words. Unga refers to the rug H. Really? Wow. Andrew really made a fool of himself in that BBC interview. Most famous people went to Epstein Island. Yeah, they did. And Soon Yi may be Woody's wife. Yep. I remember that name now. That's where it's from.
in fact, the way one of the emails that Jeffrey Epstein, an exchange he is having with Michael Wolff, the author, who wrote, of course, about Trump's first administration and was also trying to write a book about Jeffrey Epstein. But the two of them are having an email exchange in December of 2015. And this was right before there was going to be a CNN debate for the Republican candidates. And Michael Wolff says to...
So that would be when he was running for office the first time. Hannah said,
Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that? What's that, brother?
right? Woody is disgusting. I hope he rots in hell.
Epstein, I hear CNN is planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you. And Epstein responds, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? And Wolff responds, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. If it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt.
That's interesting. So they're trying to create a PR nightmare. I don't remember what his answer was. Abraham said, I've always said it, those documents are going to be harmful to one person, the current president. I think they're going to be harmful to a lot more than just the current president. Kelly Disdelicious, good to see you. Thank you. I never had known what the emoji was. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Michael. Dandy, good to see you. I heard this morning that Epstein has an egg-shaped plant. Hello, everyone. Hello. I had to look it up, but Michael Wolff is an American journalist as well as a columnist and contributor to USA Today and The Hollywood Reporter. Wolff is an evil conspirator. Interesting.
And that's a paraphrase of, there's a lot more that was said in that email, but that's the meat of it there where he says...
And the point is that if it's simply, yeah, we socialized together like a million other people did, you don't have to craft an answer. But what they're saying is that whatever Donald Trump would say would raise eyebrows. I mean, I think that's the only way you can look at it, to a point where they're saying you could actually blackmail him if he wins. I mean, there's...
So, yeah, and that was kind of the point, I think. You know, the strangest picture is that that painting he had hanging up of Bill Clinton in a dress, demasculating him. I doubt it, because after his first indictment, many high-profile individuals stopped fucking around with him. Only Donald Trump remained close to him. I've only seen Donald Trump on one flight log. From what I've been told, he didn't really fuck with Epstein, although he knew him and had been there a few times. A lot less than Hillary Clinton, Bill Gates. Those were the ones that I heard went there most. But these are just things that I've heard. Yeah, that blue dress one, I'll see if I can find it. I'm expecting a lot of my favorite celebrities, musicians, and, well, I don't have favorite politicians to show up on that island and log. Yeah, I think there was a lot going on. It goes back to when you're filthy rich and you can buy whatever you want, everything that you can buy becomes boring. So they start wanting things that they can't have, that are illegal. They start wanting to do things they're not supposed to do, that are illegal. And these dirty old men, of course, they're going to see a young teenage girl or child even and know that they can't hurt them, and they're going to want to hurt them. Some of them, in my opinion. I think that anyone who is found to be involved with SMEX with minors or getting minors for SMEX should be charged. Full stop. I agree. Just stick as fuck. Anybody involved, yes, should be charged to the fullest extent of the law. And somebody came out and was talking. I was watching a video and they were like, damn, I'm going to have to see if I can find it. They were saying things like, I knew Epstein liked minors for a long time, but it's like he liked 15-year-olds that could pass for 19. Like, she used the term kitty diddler. Like, he was called a kitty diddler, but allegedly he wasn't, because he didn't mess with like 8-year-olds. It was like 15-year-olds who all looked like they could pass for 19-year-olds. And I was like, I don't know if I'm following you there, ma'am. Some news anchor or something. I'll see if I can find the video. I was like, I don't know how I feel about what you're saying right now. Bill Gates never went to his house or flew with him. He had agreed to a meeting with him to talk about charity. I thought he was on the flight logs, but I definitely could be wrong.
Essentially saying
But also, I think, isn't it interesting that Epstein is saying, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? Is he asking that because he actually thinks, let's come up with some ideas and I'm going to pitch them?
No, he thinks
Trump
before
the debate.
It looks to me like Michael Wolff had some inside information, perhaps, that somebody at CNN, which was holding the debate, would ask a question about Epstein. And if that was asked and it was on Michael Wolff's radar, he told Epstein and said, we could either craft an answer or he could hang himself.
I agree with that, but I also think it's interesting that is Epstein asking because he actually can get a potential answer that they craft to Donald Trump at that point?
I think so. I think that's
exactly. Is he going to pick up the phone and call
I
either
think that's exactly
Trump
the point.
and say, here's what you should say if they ask?
That's exactly the point, that there seemed to be some access.
Because this was, again, December 2015. Jeffrey Epstein was out. He had been convicted in Florida, but he's out.
And there's more. And there's more.
Right.
Quickly, because I probably need to do this anyway, with it being Epstein, I think this is the video that I saw that I'll share.
Welcome to the Megyn Kelly Show.
A nationwide uproar is erupting over Megyn Kelly's controversial remarks suggesting that Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay. So I want to find the original clip. If this doesn't show it, we'll pull it up.
Epstein wasn't really a pedophile.
He was into the barely legal type. Like, he liked
that's
15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds.
The backlash is fierce. Hashtag I was 15 is now trending on social media, with some posting photos of themselves at that age. 15 isn't barely legal, it's illegal, goes one post. You're defending a pedophile, says another. The women of The View took aim today.
A 15-year-old, a 16-year-old is a child.
And
that
a
is not a young
rape.
woman.
Sweet 16.
Actress Melissa Gilbert is also speaking out about her experience as a 15-year-old who was made to share this first kiss with a 23-year-old co-star in the TV classic Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, shit.
Through the lens of today, this is shocking. I have no words other than to say I was 15, she posted. And Kelly's remarks were given the Saturday Night Live treatment.
Megyn Kelly made a terrific point this week. She said Epstein's not a pedophile. Terrific thing to just say out of nowhere. Great job, Megyn. We love Megyn. They should put her back on TV. Legalize Megyn.
Okay. Let's go back over here and I'll read out.
So there's that. And then there is, this is really interesting. In April of 2011, Jeffrey Epstein is emailing Ghislaine Maxwell and said, I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim's name redacted, spent hours at my house with him.
We know
Trump.
We know that's Virginia Giuffre.
Virginia Giuffre, right. Well, the White House says it's Virginia Giuffre.
Right.
He meaning Trump, has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. And then Ghislaine responds, I have been thinking about that.
So that then raises a question, and this again, you said 2011,
right?
That they're saying the dog that hasn't barked. Now,
really?
I don't think this means that Donald Trump did anything untoward, because even Virginia said in her memoir that he did.
She had met with him, and he was always very pleasant and did nothing untoward.
But what it could mean, and what it seems to mean, to me at least, is he knows stuff.
Right.
And that dog hasn't barked. The dog not barking is Donald Trump. Barking is blowing the whistle. And then and then you have Ghislaine Maxwell saying, yeah, I've been thinking about that too, as if
she knows it.
She knows that Donald Trump knows stuff about us or you, and it's been on my mind. That's a big statement.
It's huge. Going back to your point about whether or not.
So this is saying that Donald Trump knew about what was going on at Epstein's house and didn't say anything. I think a lot of people knew what was going on and didn't say anything. The man had already.
He did anything untoward. I agree. There's nothing to
the man had already been prosecuted for this once and got off with, like, I don't know, it was something stupid, the stupidest shit, paying a fine or some shit. So I mean, people who were brave enough to come out and then were shut down are going to be scared to say anything again. Not that I'm making an excuse for it, but you know, egg problem equals uncircumcised plus cold water equals shrinkage. Wait, have you heard about the boiled egg thing that allegedly Diddy would do? Maybe it's, I don't know. If Trump was guilty of participating in this, I believe Biden would have released it. But, you know, there was a question of Biden's cognitive ability, especially there towards the end. Rachel, good to see you. The reference about the egg was in the court documents. You have them? Oh, I'm going to have to check that out.
You know, there's nothing about that. But according to Epstein, Donald Trump spent 4 hours with her, a underage victim, 4 hours at Epstein's house. And we know from the later correspondence that Ghislaine Maxwell says that Trump knew, Epstein says Trump knew about the young girls, knew what Epstein's predilections were. So Donald Trump, for 4 hours at Epstein's house, which is the first time we've ever heard that Donald Trump met one of the victims at Epstein's house, 4 hours with somebody he knows to be an underage victim of Epstein.
He knows to be underage. I think at that point, Virginia was not known to be a victim.
Well, no, but
like
Ghislaine Maxwell
2011,
Trump knew about it.
She made the claim after 2011.
Trump knew, everybody knew about it.
Long after, right.
Epstein had already been prosecuted once in 2008 for trafficking in underage girls. Trump knew who Epstein was, and in 2011, he's at Epstein's house with an underage girl. I'm not saying they did anything wrong.
The Florida conviction was for prostitution.
Right.
Right, for solicitation.
Let's just cut to the chase. What it seems to be saying is that they seem to be saying Donald Trump knows a lot of stuff that we don't want him to necessarily talk about. And they even talk about police chiefs and what does, and remember,
what is that?
Donald Trump saying like, oh, I just, you know, he was a creep at Mar-a-Lago and that's all I knew. Well, it seems like they're saying he knew a lot more.
Well, Epstein says if he said.
Yeah, I think that he might have known a lot more, but again, who do you tell? Post-pandemic issues. Releasing the documents before he was elected would have stopped him from getting elected. They would have done it. Yeah. I use them for my episodes on Ghislaine and Epstein. I also have tons of photos, including the Clinton address. Really? He said, she said, hearsay, their interpretation. True. I don't know,
As
man.
he wasn't on my plane, we're going to hold that over him because we know that's a lie. This is the first time we've gotten
Well, he's admitted he
confirmation.
was on the plane going from
Is
New
where the
York to
plane-
Mar-a-Lago.
New York to Mar-a-Lago, exactly. But I think the suggestion
I think this is more
Epstein's
important.
house.
I think 2011 is more important because what they're saying is he knows about stuff we've done that could really get us in trouble.
And
I mean, that's the dog that didn't bark.
I wish there was someone what is that I'm 75% there mean?
Don't know what that means.
Yeah, he's obviously downplaying their relationship. It's evident that they were more than just friends, and him being a creep is like not the case. They have a relationship. We need to address the Epstein files. It just doesn't make sense to keep dragging this out.
Yeah, and believe me, at this point, I don't think his diversionary tactics are going to work. People want to know, and this is not going away.
No.
And I think they're getting tired of diversions.
Epstein's accusers have released a new video calling for the release
Okay,
of all the files.
I want to bring y'all over here. EPSTEIN. EPSTEIN. Okay. Spend some time. Hold on. Trying to find where she says it. Reporting. Hold on just a minute. This is like a 2-hour video. Hundreds of hours. I wanted to find that part where she said that, and I'm not going to be able to find it unless I search this. This is going over the backstory. Talking about the emails and stuff like that. We heard the room. I apologize. I'm looking. Let's try that one.
Prostitution and whether the average prostitute is underage or not. Again, reminder, Epstein pleaded guilty in 2008 to solicitation of an underage prostitute. Insert my refrain about how that's an impossibility. He raped a young girl. He didn't solicit a prostitute who was underage. That's not a thing. Bannon then quickly tries to change the topic, expressing his opinion that the core accusations against Epstein, that he is a rapist and a pedophile who is trafficking underage girls to his rich friends, are not true. Bannon says Epstein does not have a legal strategy problem, but that his PR problems are metastasizing. Bannon suggests acing the interview. In the practice interview with Bannon, Epstein says he taught 17 and 18-year-olds and that he would pay extra attention to the girls. The exchange here in the audiobook of Too Famous. Listen.
SB, you would focus on the females versus the males. JE, yes, to the extent that I had something more to give them. SB, what? JE, as I said, a friendlier view of the math world. SB, you understand how that might sound creepy. JE, that I don't know. It doesn't sound creepy to me now, and I don't think it seemed creepy to anyone then. I also tutored young black men.
Epstein's comments about young black students also weren't exactly media friendly. From the
I don't know where it's at, but y'all heard clips of it. And there's more clips, but I don't know. I was looking for the whole thing that I had seen. but I can't find it now. I got people reacting to it, but I can't find it.
Megyn Kelly appears to have just questioned if Jeffrey Epstein's really even a pedophile, and people are pissed off.
I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. That Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types.
With Megyn, 1, saying she didn't believe Epstein was a pedophile for a long time because of this, and 2, that it wasn't until the DOJ said that they found child sex abuse materials on his computer that she changed her mind.
I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. We have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. You can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No. This is most of the clip. I think it's got most of it in it. So that's what I was looking for. It's wrong and illegal to take advantage of underage girls. Yes, it is, Anders. If it's under 18 in the US, it's illegal. Full stop. No excuses. In the UK, it's 16, hence why Andrew didn't think he did wrong, but he did. Or sitting on his lap. Yep, Rachel. Rebel. Yes, we were talking about Epstein. We're going to watch the video. Your government has a conscience and hope for opposing sides to come together to protect children is how government should work. Barely legal, it's 18 plus. Yeah, barely legal, it's over 18. Not under 18 can pass for 18.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference.
And so in general, people have just kind of been horrified by this, including people on the right who follow her. Or because Epstein is a convicted child sex offender, and even though she kind of walks it back, people found it absurd to try to downplay his crimes or throw out any argument in any context suggesting that he wasn't a pedophile. Or with some also saying that, 15 is not barely legal, it's factually illegal, and arguing that it's gross to act like there's a difference. And you had others thinking that it felt like she was trying to soft launch the acceptance of pedophilia or trying to lower how it's defined. Right? Many feeling whiplash because in the past, while on the Today Show, she talked about how teenagers are clearly under the age of consent. So why is she questioning this now? But for now, let me know your thoughts, opinions, and reactions in those comments, and follow to stay in the loop.
So I want to take it back just a second because she starts the clip. That's the most of it I've seen so far since I saw it that day a couple of days ago. And Lord knows I won't be able to find that video. But she starts it with, I know someone who's very close to the situation that said this. I think it may be her.
Megyn Kelly appears to have just questioned if Jeffrey Epstein's really even a pedophile, and people are pissed off.
I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. That
I'm wondering if that's her.
Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts.
She had said in the clip I saw, he liked 15-year-old girls that could pass for 18. They are easier to control, Rachel. A lot of people will get them with the intent of training them up to be what they want them to be, submissive wives. That's why I think when someone says barely legal, just turned 18, yep. My issue with the term child, to me, a child is someone 12 and under 13 plus. You are a teen and a young man or woman. Yeah, but 18, I think under 18 would be still illegal. Old men like barely legal, may be legal, but it's still gross as fuck. Yep. Yeah, well, this part is, we talked about, I pulled what I could find earlier in the video, Rebel, about the Epstein files, what I've found so far. And we're going to look at the video from the night he died. 15 is illegal, not barely legal. Yep. But it's definitely illegal without a doubt. Yep. We know who the sniffer is. Okay, Cindy, have a good day, love.
That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types.
With Megyn, 1, saying she didn't believe Epstein was a pedophile for a long time because of this, and 2, that it wasn't until the DOJ said that they found child sex abuse materials on his computer that she changed her mind.
I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. We have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. You can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think
It's
there
not,
is a
OC.
difference.
So in general, people have just
There, she said, I think there is a difference. What is the difference? I mean, illegal's illegal. I don't know. Freaking weird. Okay, this is the video. It's a 10-minute video of the night that Jeffrey Epstein died. He liked high school girls. That's where he got them from. He would pay them to bring their friends in Palm Beach, yeah, and allegedly give massages and shit. I think this is the distinction Megan's trying to make. And she may be trying to say, you know, they were teenagers. At least they weren't 8 years old. But when did it be? I mean, when did it become to okay to be with a teenager anyway? Like, not necessarily that it's okay, but any less horrifying than being with an 8-year-old. You could say that back in the 1800s, they married 14-year-olds. It's all fucked up to me. I think it's the 15 in Sweden, but I'm absolutely not into that. Yeah. But 18 and 19 still a teen. So when someone says a teenager did this or that, I see 16 plus. I think maybe because I have kids who are babies in my eyes, I can't see them as anything else. Right. Yeah. There are a few minutes missing from the video. That's what a lot of people are saying. I haven't ever watched it. I know this ain't a 10-hour video. Oh, hell yeah, it's a 10-hour video. I can't watch all of this. I'm going to go down here. Trash cans moved. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the part that we want to see. Let me pull it up and then we'll move on. A lot of weird stuff going on in that video. I'll have to look at it and see what I see. There's the jail cell. Oh my gosh. Can we stop? Lord have mercy. Okay, let me pull this back up for y'all. This isn't just the jail cell. Why is there... We weren't allowed to have that many blankets and that much shit in there. Where did he get all them fucking blankets? Hyoid bone was broken. Okay, so this is evidently it's
All
only
right, we're going to begin this hour
video
with the CBS News investigation.
I don't need your commentary.
Video. You will recall Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his jail cell in 2019, and it was ruled a suicide. Recently, the Justice Department released security video from the jail. One official called it raw footage, but we looked into it. Scott McFarlane reports from Washington on what we found.
This was the nearly 11-hour video agents reviewed when they investigated the death of convicted child predator Jeffrey Epstein. Government officials say it's proof that no one entered his cell tier. Malfunctioning equipment meant only one camera recorded the general area, and that camera captured part of the common area, including the officer's station and a sliver of the staircase leading to Epstein's cell.
But okay, we got a high-profile individual like in there, like Epstein, and the fucking cameras aren't working. I think he was. UTD pointed out it would be different if it was your daughter that this was happening to, and it would. Anybody's daughter.
FBI Director Dan Bongino.
There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see it.
CBS News has reviewed the tape, and this is what it shows. The primary entrance is here, The pathway from the entrance to the
Several were,
stairs is
evidently.
completely out of view of the camera, leaving ample room for someone to enter unseen. This is the last time Epstein is believed to have been seen on camera, but we don't see him walking up the stairs to his cell. Bongino also said none of this video was doctored. It was the original, raw footage from the camera.
We're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans.
But a review by multiple video forensic experts found several indications this may not be raw footage. For example, at 11:21 p.m., a cursor appears briefly, indicating the video may have actually been a recording of a computer screen. Experts told CBS News the video's metadata, which tracks how a file is created and changed, shows it's made from 2 clips edited together. Then, at 11:58 p.m., the video suddenly jumps to midnight, and the aspect ratio shifts. Here's U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
There was a minute that was off the counter.
Hey,
and
Dari.
what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night.
But a government source familiar with the probe told CBS News the FBI and other agencies are in possession of a copy of the video that records with no interruption.
These inconsistencies, while not contradicting the conclusion Epstein died by suicide, do introduce questions that the government so far has declined to answer. The department.
I mean, okay, if the video jumps like that, at this day and age, with someone as high profile as Jeffrey Epstein in there, there should have been no malfunctioning cameras, and it shouldn't be jumping. There shouldn't be a cursor. It shouldn't show 2 images edited together. I don't like it. It stinks. Oh, of course I would. Of course I would. I mean, I think that it's 8-year-old, 15-year-old, 17, a child that's 17 and 364 days old. It's all gross to me. Even an 18-year-old, I don't feel like children are adults at the age of 18. They get them right when they turn 18, and if they're into the business of making videos, they call it barely legal. Oh, here we go. Actually, I got to send something to myself again, too. This was sent to me. This is supposedly the list. George Clooney, Ghislaine, Jen, Glenn, Greg Hubert, Gwen Stefani, Pharrell Williams, Paula Epstein, who's deceased, Rihanna, Justin Trudeau, Kathy Griffin, Katy Perry, Kelly Spam, Kevin Spacey, Courtney Cox, Courtney Love, Demi Moore, Dan Schneider. There's quite a few people on there. Michelle Obama. Tons of people probably not doing anything wrong. Could be, I don't know. I wasn't there. All right, we're going to jump over to a quick article that I found. Actually, no, I'm going to save that because I want to do some research into that. We're going to talk about Melodee Buzzard and what her mother is doing. Found this real damn interesting. I've got 2 articles on this and some videos for us to look at. We all knew Jim Carrey and Justin Trudeau were creamy motherfuckers. I don't think Kevin Spacey surprised anyone either. That motherfucker's scary. Okay, I've got this article and then we got some videos to watch. So, evidently that PI we were talking about with the Melodee Buzzard case says that Ashlee Buzzard has cut her daughter's face out of missing posters. What the Huh? What?
Now what the fuck is going on?
Why is she cutting her daughter out of missing posters? Yeah. The list is a party invite. I'd ask him for evidence. I'd make the law do that. I wouldn't ask him for evidence. I'd make the law do that. Yeah. We need the list of the after party we do. I haven't. I need to watch it. All right. So this article reads, Ashlee Buzzard, the California mother at the center of the search for her missing 9-year-old daughter, Melodee, allegedly cut Melodee's face out of her own missing child posters. According to private investigator Bill Garcia, who told News Nation a witness inside her home saw it happen. Garcia spoke exclusively to News Nation's senior correspondent Brian Inton in a discussion about Ashlee Buzzard's ostensibly erratic behavior and the possible whereabouts of Melodee. Quote, I understand that she had cut these photographs off the poster. She placed them on the table in her home, Garcia said. To me, it represents an altar, not saying she's deceased, but something that she can have some memory of, he added. Garcia, who has been hired by Melodee's paternal aunt, believes there's a distinct possibility that Melodee is both alive and close to her home in Lampeter, California. My personal belief after doing this for over 30 years, I don't believe it. I don't believe she left Melodee, Garcia said. I think it's a kind of smoke screen to throw people off. I don't see her leaving her out anywhere with anyone or leaving her out in the bush or in the woods. I see her bringing her all the way home if something happened to her. I think regardless, if something happened, she would have brought at least close to home. Garcia said he believes Ashlee has made the cross-country trips before on that route and that Melodee is not in Utah, but rather the Lampeter area. Once again appearing in court Wednesday regarding false imprisonment charge not related to her daughter, Ashlee ignored questions from Inton outside the courthouse about the whereabouts of Melodee. Ashlee will be again in court on Thursday. So we're going to jump over to Brian Inton Investigates and watch the video that he put out on it. Hold on just a minute. Here we go. I'm not sure, Rebel. I haven't seen him. I've just heard his name and heard that he was a PI investigating the case.
Why did you cut her?
Oh, okay. So this is probably outside of the courthouse. What, yesterday was Wednesday? Okay. Well, it's not gonna. I want to take it back, please. Thank you. Yeah, she's definitely appears to be outside of the courthouse here. I'll make it big because I have the overlay. You thought I don't know. The UK and the BBC does always have the best info. The mother was Garcia. Maybe. Oh, Santeria. I don't practice Santeria. Ain't got no crystal ball. All right, let's watch this.
Why did you cut her pictures out on the posters? Everyone just wants to know where Melodee is.
Hey guys, thanks so much for.
So she's obviously not answering questions because, again, her mental state. I don't know what she's done. If she wants people to think that she feels like they're in danger, I don't fucking know. I wish that we could find Melodee.
Checking out my show. I really, really appreciate it. Please click to subscribe. That was Ashlee Buzzard, mother of Melodee Buzzard, who was missing. And I'm going to explain in a second why I was asking her about cutting up her daughter's missing posters. It's new, something that I found out, and I'm going to get to it in a second. I'm in Lompoc, California right now. This is Ashlee Buzzard's house. She's in the house now where she's been for weeks, talking to no one, not answering any questions about where missing Melodee is. Where is the 9-year-old little girl? She's not talking to reporters. She's not talking to police. She's not talking to anybody. I saw her again today at her court.
Y'all, do y'all think that her makeup looks good? I feel like it's way too damn much. What do y'all think? Y'all let me know. Sublime does not ever get old. I used to sing that song all the time. I hope she's alive too, but it doesn't seem promising.
Hearing, gonna get to all of that. I wanted to show you real quick though, outside the house, there's these missing Melodee posters that are outside, and there's some candles over there in the corner, but again, she just doesn't come out. So I'm getting to the latest on everything. what it was like seeing her in court, this new development about the posters and her cutting up the posters and what that could mean. I'm getting into all of it in this episode of Brian Ensign Investigates. Hey guys, okay, again, this is Ashlee's house behind me, Lompoc, California. Ashlee Buzzard, Melodee's mom, was in court again, and I was there. This all stems from this charge unrelated to missing Melodee that has to do with false imprisonment, which I'll get to.
So, yeah, she falsely imprisoned her paralegal friend Tyler and told Tyler, got upset when Tyler was like, "Did you leave Melodee at the Utah border?" And she said, "How did you know I was there?" Kelly said, "No, it's way too much makeup in the wrong spots. Thank you. Contouring failed. Too much makeup." See, I'm gonna do a face reveal for y'all in the next that we're supposed to be moving December, so it'll be shortly after that, after the first week of December. And I've got to figure out makeup because I don't wear makeup, but I'm gonna have to wear some when I come online for y'all. And I'm like, God, I can't wear makeup like that. That's too much. So I'm trying to figure out how I should wear my makeup. I guess it looks better than the last time she was in court, like Mama's family. Yeah.
In a second, with one of the mom's former friends, apparently locked him in the house, 4 deadbolts, and then had a box cutter, all sorts of crazy details. But so she was back in court on that charge. It was basically like a status hearing, getting ready for the preliminary hearing, which I will also be covering. And I saw her first walking in. She kind of came out of nowhere. I was outside waiting to see if she was going to show up, and then I saw her walking out. It's a very quick hearing. Different from last time. She sort of had like a little entourage. This time they had a number of police officers there, I guess, sort of like keeping. I was really the only reporter trying to talk to her, but
Really? I wonder why he's the only reporter trying to talk to her. Dan said, "My favorite makeup look is no makeup. It's a thing designed to look naturally healthy." See, I don't wear makeup, but I feel like I need to put some on to come on this internet. Light foundation, lipstick, and mascara. I know that's right. It's safer not to. Yeah, I know. I'm looking for like organic stuff if I can find it. But I've seen schizophrenic women put that kind of makeup on in a psych ward. Really? That's interesting.
Being me back, and then her lawyer was
Tell
also
me more
with
about
her.
that.
She walked out the front door, and then she got into like a ride share. I don't think she has a car, so she took a ride share back here to her house.
Wait a minute.
First,
So we heard about them, her trying to rent a car, and then they said no because she's in too much debt or something to that extent. So what, she doesn't have a vehicle at all? And if that vehicle that was in her yard is not her vehicle, then did she hit the fucking bar thing at the little poles at the gas station? That, remember that yellow mark on the side of her car? I'm wondering if she hit that in a rental car, and that's why they won't let her rent a car anymore. And because she's obviously not mentally stable, from what it appears anyway. Is there really? I've heard that rumor, but I wasn't sure. I forget who said it, but they said if you can tell you're wearing makeup, then you're doing it wrong. I know that's right. That's what I tell my kids. Just ask Grish to lend you a hoodie and a bandana. Oh, Lord. COVID mask broke my makeup addiction. My wife is prettier with no makeup, but she don't believe me. Oh, that's so sweet, Michael. Mr. Speculating tells me that all the time, too. I just want to look decent for y'all. Laura Geller, light but enhances natural beauty. I'll write it down. Thank y'all for the advice.
let me play you when I tried to ask her some questions.
Ashlee, can you tell us where Melodee is?
Right, Sam?
Why aren't you saying anything to law enforcement, Ashlee? Why have you just stayed quiet when your daughter's missing?
does,
Doesn't make
that
any
lady.
sense. Why did you cut her pictures out on the posters? Everyone just wants to know where Melodee is.
So she didn't answer any of my questions. I did notice she looked up at me. We kind of locked eyes at one point when I first said her name, Ashlee. And you heard me at the end there again asking her why
Cat
did
lady,
you
good to
cut
see you.
up
Kalisa, good to
the
see you.
posters, the missing posters. And I've got an interview with
does.
private investigator Bill Garcia coming up later in this episode. I
Aw.
met up with him. He is the private
You're
investigator that's
beautiful,
been
Shelby.
working with little Melodee's father's family, trying to investigate all of this. And he found out.
Shelby, your picture is beautiful. I think you are absolutely gorgeous.
Something very interesting about, he says, Ashlee Buzzard cutting up missing posters, cutting Melodee out of the posters, and those posters with Melodee cut out are inside her house, according to private investigator Bill Garcia. And you're going to hear him explain all of that later in the episode, which is really, really bizarre.
That is really bizarre. Kalisa pointed out that it's very much reminiscent of Lori Daybell, and you guys all know Salty Sleuth. I was watching her video, and she was talking about, you remember the last time that someone was asked to produce their children, and then they wouldn't, and that was Lori Daybell. So it's very reminiscent of that, and I think she referenced Brian Enton being in Hawaii right before Lori and them got arrested, saying, "Where are your children? Where are your children? Tell us where your children are." It's very, very concerning. Very concerning. I really want her to produce the child. Allegedly, she's cutting the pictures out of Melodee and made some kind of fucking altar. What the fuck?
So that's coming up. In terms of what happened in court, again, it was a quick hearing. They were just getting ready for the preliminary hearing.
Sorry.
These are photos from inside the courtroom. There was no video allowed this time.
It is actually very sweet.
But you can notice that Ashlee had a different appearance. I mean, she's had different appearances throughout. She wears these wigs
That's sweet,
that
Julie.
it seems she's been wearing to disguise herself. But she had the wig on again today, but it was sort of pulled back in a different way. I don't know if it was the same wig that we've seen. Another thing I noticed is she had on.
I think it's the same wig she's been wearing. Nicole, I appreciate that. I actually used to live in Siler City, Bear Creek specifically, which wasn't that far from Asheboro. I appreciate the offer. I'm gonna work on getting some. I used to work Clinique and stuff. I appreciate that offer. That's very, very sweet of you. But yeah, I'm gonna have to buy some, and because I'm gonna have to get used to whatever it is. I'm gonna have to, like, I don't know. I might have to go see a makeup person so they can tell me what kind I need and all that. I got to figure all that out. Miss King, good to see you. I don't know why she hasn't been arrested either. I wish she would produce Melodee. I don't know if Ashlee hurt her daughter, though. I really believe she's scared to death. Family or CPS would take her. Again, she's paranoid, just not sure how far she would go. Right. Yeah, that's a wig.
A lot of makeup this time around. Just a ton of makeup. I mean, you can see it on her cheeks, and she was very, very made up and just sort of had a different look and feel this time than in other times that we have seen her in court. She didn't say a word in court either. So she didn't talk outside when I asked her questions, and she didn't say anything in court. Her lawyer did the talking, and she may have to say more when we get to this full preliminary hearing. So let me give you guys a little bit of the backstory before I get into this interview with private investigator Bill Garcia. So 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard has not been seen now in well more than a month. Her mother, Ashlee, has not been cooperating with police at all, not answering any questions. It's been very, very suspicious. We know that Melodee and her mom were together on October 7th, 2 days before the most recent sighting, and that they had rented a car and headed out on a several thousand multi-state road trip that took them from California to Nebraska and back in 3 days. But as far as anyone knows, only Ashlee, the mom, may have returned. Melodee may have not been with Ashlee, although you're going to hear the private investigator explain in a second. There's a lot of theories that she did come back with Melodee.
Now, the private investigator thinks that, which is what we discussed the other day, that they came back to Ventura County, California, and that Melodee is actually somewhere in Ventura County. But remember, the police saying that Melodee is last seen at the Utah border, and then she's not seen again. If they came back to Ventura County, California, I think the police would have given us that area to look at. I'm not sure how much I trust this PI. I really am not. I don't like it. Browns are the best color for blue or gray eyes. Thank you for that. If she hurt her child, then her makeup looks Pennywise, but if she's innocent, I'll keep my opinion to myself. I like that comment, Michael. It's giving washed up stripper with the lights get turned on and the club makeup and the wig.
The search has expanded. There's been pictures released of Melodee at the car rental in what appears to be a wig. Again, her mom was known for wearing wigs. And in terms of this latest development with this false imprisonment charge,
Allegedly.
that all relates to this man, Tyler Brewer. He's the victim in the false imprisonment case. He said that he's known Ashlee through a friend since 2014, has been coming. Sorry, I heard something. I don't know if she's going to come out at any second. She came out earlier to get a FedEx package. So kind of keeping an eye on things. But anyway, Tyler Brewer has known Melodee through a friend since 2014, been coming over to check on her since this whole missing case was public.
Okay, I'm gonna skip it to where he talks to the private investigator, because we know all of what he's talking about right now because we've talked about it in previous episodes. So border control between the states. No, border control would
Find
be
out, and
only
then
at the
also had
borders.
this new development about Ashlee Buzzard cutting up the missing posters, which is really bizarre. Here's my full interview with Bill Garcia as we were driving around. What did you find when you went to Utah? Because there's been such a focus on Utah that she was there, that maybe she gave Melodee to someone.
Yeah. So, well, since the beginning, we've been tracking the information that's been put out by law enforcement and looking at the map and the route. And it wasn't until I actually had an in-depth conversation with Tyler that prompted me to actually drive to that area, because Highway 89 stood out to me. That wasn't the norm for someone that's on a long road trip, unless you have a long amount of time, to casually take the drive. It's situated just north of Zion and Bryce National Park, and it's a beautiful route if you're on vacation. But if you're just traveling, it doesn't make sense to take that particular route. There were some things that were said by Ashlee, which kind of prompted that. And Ashlee had discussed this with Tyler Brewer, and that prompted us to get on the ground and get going. My read is to jump on the case as quick as possible, because if you do wait, it makes it more difficult, and it puts the child at greater risk of not being found or of being harmed. So
That's what's so important about all of this, and I don't like that the police aren't making her produce her daughter or locking her up. Yes, this is the PI. Kelly said, I'm concerned that no one has more recent pictures of this little girl from the last few years. She must have been super isolated. I think she was. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that, Nicole. I appreciate it. You paid $88 for it? That's awesome. Hey, Abellis. Good to see you. I'm sorry you had a crappy night. I'm good. I hope you are. And the family believes she is still alive. I pray to God she is. I do. I pray to God she's still alive.
once I had spoke to him and I talked to a couple of associates, it was determined that, yeah, it's a good idea. Let's get going.
Yeah.
So
You
I
think the child's
drove
gone? I hope
up
not.
to the area. I started at St. George and basically drove on up to the top of I-70 and stopped at the Phillip gas station in Junction.
Basil is here eating crackers. I've not come on camera on YouTube. No.
Where I was met by a journalist who had initially reported the sighting there at Junction, and pretty much determined that it wasn't a valid sighting. There was questions that couldn't be answered. Well, first of all, the young lady that made the report wouldn't talk to us. So her best friend / manager of the place, who knew all about what Samantha had seen, went ahead and answered some of my questions. And it was difficult to answer because if she had been seen there, it would have been shortly after 5 p.m. in the evening. And on mountain time, it would have already been dark by that time. And so that was one of the points. The other point was, well, how could you, where did they park? Did they get gas? Well, they didn't come in and get gas. But you can't pay cash at the pump. And well, what direction did the vehicle depart in that you were able to see the front or the rear license plate? Don't remember, don't know.
Yeah, that would make me suspicious too, because you would remember all that. If she's alive and found, she will never be returned to her mother. I don't think she's alive. Lord, I hope she is.
Other factors were what side of the pump were they parked on? Because if they were parked on the far side of the pump, it would be more difficult to actually see the persons that were getting in and out of the car. So there were several factors that led me to believe, this week, people have a tendency of wanting to be helpful, and sometimes they embellish what they see and hear. And in this case, this particular report didn't come out until after law enforcement had reported that area. And so you kind of take that into consideration as well.
Meaning that these people might have heard that she could have been in that area and then saw something that they didn't see, trying to help. Haven't worn makeup in 30 years because of the chemicals. Yeah, see, that's why I'm concerned about makeup and putting it on, but histrionic personality disorder in reference to the makeup on Ashlee. If y'all don't mind, please twinkle twinkle over to the thumbs up.
Come on, players, stop hating. Stop hating. Start participating. Start participating, star. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle, baby.
And you kind of just, you go with it.
Based on your expertise and what you found when you went to Utah, do you think that that she left Melodee with someone there?
There's a very slight possibility, but I think it's extremely slight. And my personal belief after doing this over 30 years, I don't believe it. I don't believe she left Melodee. I think it's kind of a smoke screen to throw people off based on what has happened in Ventura and driving that highway and seeing some of the emotional response by Melodee. I'm sorry, seeing some of the emotional response by Ashlee at her home. And this would have been, she came home one day after she had been back, and she got out of her rideshare vehicle and she walked up to the curb in front of her house, and she saw the posters put out. And the poster, which was closest to the driveway, was a poster that had a picture of Melodee and her father. Melodee would have been very young, actually under 6 months old, and her deceased father. And it's the first time in all the time that I've spent surveilling her that I actually saw a glimpse of emotion. The way she treated that poster, the way she kind of rubbed her hands around the edge of the poster, it's almost like she was reminiscing, but it was the first glimmer of emotion. And to me, that's really, really important. And
that is very important. So that makes me change my theory of she's thinking that the dad is still alive and trying to keep Melodee from her. That tells me she knows that he's deceased and she misses him. I'm wondering if that's the one she cut the face from. No, Rocks, good to see you, love, and thank you for being here. So if Ashlee had negative history with CPS and little problem could make her think her family or CPS would take Melodee, yeah. You notice a difference between the Daybell Buzzard case personally. I hope there's a main difference, and that main difference is that Melodee's still alive. God, I pray to God. But this woman, it's not there's something going on that the longer Melodee's gone, the more we need to know. And I'll never understand why she's not being held in prison until she gives up the location or produces her child.
She went on to remove the other posters, and I later learned that she had actually cut those photographs out of the poster. And I also understand that she had placed them on the table inside her home.
What do you mean by cut the photos out?
So the posters had photographs of Melodee. they didn't take up the entire poster, but they were snapshots that were projected onto the posters. So I understand that she had cut these photographs off of the poster.
So she cut Melodee out of the missing poster?
Out of several of the missing posters.
And why would she do that?
Not sure, but what she did with them is she placed them on a table in her home. To me, it represents an altar. Not saying that she's deceased, but it's something that she can have some memory of. And that's what I picked up from that.
No,
I've
I
been
haven't.
told that I'm pretty intuitive as to emotion and what people do, and it's helped find some of these kids.
So, and I'm sorry, Kelly, for what your family went through as well. I'm sorry I didn't say that before. Why would she create an altar? Let's ask that. I'll what do you guys think? What do you think? Why do you think she would cut the photos out and place them on her table in her house, reminiscent of like an altar? The PI does make sense. I'm starting to like him now that I've heard him actually speak. Why wouldn't she have her own pictures of her daughter? Another great question, Michael.
And the interesting thing is, early on, I think it was in week 2, I was surveilling the home over a weekend, and I noticed, as did others, that she hadn't come out of the home for the better part of 3 days, which she normally came out every day. Even if she just went to the mailbox or the garage, she came out every day. She hadn't had any food delivered. She normally uses a Walmart delivery service to bring her food. And so I thought, okay, well, let me see if I can approach her like I have other cases. And so I went to Walmart early on the Sunday morning, and I bought some food, some water, and some dessert. And I found the card that I thought would be appropriate. And I took these items, wrote a couple of paragraphs as to who I was and how she had options and how I had helped people in her type of situation before. And I put this card with the food and hung it on the doorknob because she didn't answer. So that was on Sunday. I decided to return the next morning at 6 a.m.
Hey, Laura.
At 6 a.m., I learned that she had already left 10 minutes earlier. Didn't know where she went or what the deal was. But around 9:10 a.m., she returned in a vehicle that turned out to be a medical transport, a non-emergency medical transport. And I let her get out of the van, and I approached her very softly, very cautiously, because I wanted to create a rapport with her. And
even the way he talks is very calming. So I think he would be one of the best people to approach her and try to talk to her, because he seems very non-threatening, just even hearing him talk. Good to see you, Little Red. It does seem like she's stuck in the past mentally. Apart from my husband, he was only 3 and didn't have a good childhood. He grew up not knowing it. I'm sorry, Kelly.
I walked up to her as she was walking away from the trash cans.
Something.
And she, I asked her,
you,
I
Lil
said, hey,
Red.
Melodee, I'm sorry. I said, hey, Ashlee, did you get the bag of items and the card I left you? And she kind of mumbled something, and she kept walking towards her front door. And at that point, we got to the front door, and I said, Melodee, I'm sorry, I keep saying Melodee because she's the one in my mind.
Yeah.
And I said, Ashlee, we really do want to help. Like I told you in the note, we're not involved with law enforcement, but we're here to help you. And I understand somewhat the difficulties that you may have gone through over time. And she mumbled a couple other things, pretty much unintelligible, but she did respond to me. And then she opened the security door, walked inside, closed the security door, and then closed the solid door. And I did hear 4 different locks turn. And it's like, okay, well, You know,
I wish he knew what she mumbled. Like, and I would, because I don't know whether to believe she was mumbling like, "Oh, fuck off, you piece of shit, I don't trust you," or mumbling, "I'll think about it, and maybe I'll get with you another time. I have your number." Damn it.
this is my first attempt. I didn't get any other attempts after that, but you know, it doesn't mean I wasn't going to continue to try.
Based on everything that you've learned so far and all the investigating you've done, do you think Melodee's alive?
I'm hoping so. I don't know. And as time goes by, it becomes more difficult. I have recovered children after a decent amount of time.
But the first 48 hours is always the most crucial. When her sister talked to her, she said she was basically flat, devoid of any emotion. And I think that's why it's so important to remember when he's talking about her looking at the poster with Melodee and her father and rubbing it like softly, gently, reminiscent and actually showing emotion. You're good, Lil Red.
In good health, alive. They just needed to be found and recovered. And so I'm hopeful that that's the case. But in the case that she's not with us any longer, I would like to be able to have her recovered so that family can actually have some kind of closure. And it's a tough closure, believe me. I've been with several families who learned that their loved one had passed, and it's not easy.
I don't think it's easy for anybody. Rachel said, yeah, Kalisa said, yes, it sounds like mental health crisis to me as well. And we can't judge her actions based on what we think is logical. And you're right. We can't, that's why it's so perplexing, because what we would think was logical is something she's not thinking is logical at all.
Does Ashlee have other kids?
She has one other 20, I believe she's either 20 or 21-year-old daughter. She lives in nearby Arroyo Grande. Her name is Destiny. And I know that a local journalist has tried to talk to her, but I've not reached out to her. I believe, based on what I've learned, based on what I've seen, is that something may have happened to Melodee on that trip. You can't take a 9 or even young preteen on a 3,000-mile trip in 3 days and not have them get antsy or lash out or whatever. So whether it was an accident, whether there was some kind of situation where maybe she got into something she shouldn't have, or just a simple accident, and Ashlee not being able to deal with that. Seeing the emotion and knowing what Ashlee has gone over with over the years, I don't see her leaving her out anywhere with anyone, or leaving her out in the brush or in the.
So let's talk about that. Let's break that down for a second. She's got one daughter that's 21, Kelly, and then we've got 9-year-old Melodee. What he means, and I'm agreeing with him, is Ashlee kept Melodee so close that she picked up her assignments from school and completed them at home. She wouldn't let anybody come to her house. She wouldn't go anywhere. Every photo we have of her is from 2 years ago. Her family says her mental health isn't well. CPS has already been called because they found out that there was only rotten food in the house that they think she was trying to feed Melodee. The father's family wants to have contact with her, but for whatever reason, she doesn't want to have contact with them. Maybe the father, before he passed away, wasn't on good terms with them. Maybe they came around after he died and tried to be friends, and Ashlee wasn't having it because that was her husband, or for all intents and purposes, and she knew their relationship. She knew things about the family in the past, and for whatever reason. So she keeps Melodee isolated in this bubble in her home with her only all the time. And then we're going to think that she's going to not only take her out of this bubble of protection she has created for her entire life, to the extent of, for the past couple of years, not letting the family see her at all, talk to her at all, and then leave her with somebody else or put her in the woods. He's got a point. That doesn't make a lot of sense. For somebody to keep, with her being so isolated, for Ashlee to be thinking this whole time, feeling like I'm the only one who can keep her safe. We don't need to talk to anybody from the outside at all whatsoever, even her own fucking mother. None of them need to be in contact with me and Melodee. It's just me and Melodee, just the two of us. I'm going to keep her safe. I'm going to keep her protected in this bubble. I'm not even going to let her go to school. I'm going to keep her protected. And then to take her out of that and say, okay, you go be with this person and trust that person to keep them protected, because she felt like she couldn't even keep her protected in the bubble that she had her in, doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm not sure. I think they were together, from my understanding. I do too. So if she's feeling like CPS is after Melodee and she's the only one that can protect her, it doesn't make much sense for her to give her somewhere to somebody else. Well-being is in jeopardy, at least until she's found. Making her angry or more paranoid will shut her down even more than what she is already. I agree 100%.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Dandy said she's been so protected that I find it hard to believe she's left with anyone. Exactly. Difficult because she has to be a danger to herself and others, and you have to be able to prove that. I haven't looked at California law. Here it's 2 doctors. Interesting. Oh, it's so funny to see the cats chasing the sunspot.
Woods. I
on the
see her
carpet.
bringing her all the way home if something happened to her. I think regardless if something happened, she would have brought her at least close to home, which is why when we get to more information, we will probably decide to search an area or maybe some areas around Lompoc.
So you think she could be that close to home?
I do. I absolutely do. After spending the amount of time, and I mean, when you're out there by yourself and you're looking at what's there and you're trying to analyze all the different components to it, I do. I think Ash.
See, I thought this man was out his damn rabbit ass mind thinking that she was back home, but he does seem, now that I've heard this interview with him, he seems like a very nice man. The father's side of the family hired this man, Melodee's aunt, so that would be her father's sister.
Ashlee has done this before, and whether she was a courier for drugs or any other kind of item.
When you say done this before, what do you mean?
She's made these trips before. I'm certain of it.
You mean this strange trip to
the cross-country trips? I believe she's made the trips before, and I understand that she regularly would get a rental car, and we don't know where she went.
That's interesting. Making cross-country trips from California. Now, if we're going to talk about the drug trade, a lot of times it is easier to give a female who has children substances, because if they got and have them deliver the substances across state lines, because if they were to get pulled over, it's less likely that they would get searched, because it's just a woman and some kids. Like, you wouldn't, if they've got no criminal background, everything is good, the registration, the license and everything, and it's a mom and her child saying, I'm going to see family in New York, driving from California, it just seems like a road trip. That makes sense. Although I would need more information to believe that Ashlee was actually doing that. Like, I need some more like contact information. Is she contact with people who do that? Is she in a gang or something to that effect, like behind the scenes or down low? But people who do that would want somebody who it appears in all documentation that is not affiliated with anything like that. That's the way you're going to be able to transport things. I would need to know more about that, though. She could be just driving around because she likes scenery as well. Yeah, muling for money is what it is. Yep. Because you can get like they'll give you the substances and say, you know, I'll pay you $10,000 to drive this from here to New York. And people who need money will do it. It's difficult. She needs to be put in mental health treatment now. She isn't going to talk. Yep, unmedicated. I agree. It is scary. She hasn't worked in a long time. Interesting.
It's a good possibility that she's made multiple trips. You've got to understand, when you have a homeschooled child, there's no school standing there saying, hey, Melodee didn't make it to class today. You have the freedom of having her with you on the road. And I do believe that Ashlee loved Melodee. It's pretty evident from what I've seen that she did or does love Melodee, and maybe in her own mind, because Ashlee does suffer from a certain level of mental health problems. It goes all the way back to when she was young and she experienced some traumatic situations growing up. In fact, there's a news article, I believe, from Orange County, California, where her mother had to essentially escape a domestic violence issue, and her mother and Ashlee lived on the street when Ashlee was the same age, 9 years old. So it can become a vicious circle, and I believe that that may have occurred.
And see, that's where I'm at too, because it's very interesting to me that Ashlee went through this at the same age as Melodee, trying to hide her mother. Ashlee's mother was trying to hide Ashlee from everybody in the family because Ashlee's father, who Ashlee's mother was trying to leave, was allegedly very abusive. So they're going state to state to try to get away from him. And I feel like Ashlee felt like she needed to hide Melodee from Melodee's father's side of the family, the exact same thing that she had done when she was younger. I think that plays more of a role in this than anybody knows. Nicole said she receives disability and she also receives money from Melodee's dad's passing. She does. Is that enough to pay bills, especially in California? You know what I mean? Hey, Denise. Good to see you. UK used teens to traffic substances. That's sad. I'm thinking Ashlee got a notice from the school asking about Melodee. I know they are reporting it came after, but there was likely a previous notification from the school that sent her over the edge. I think they said there was. When we read that article released from the school, they said that they had tried to get in contact with her 2 or 3 times and then they reported it. Pretty sure. It was a true psychotic break. If it was a true psychotic break, she may not remember where she left her, and that does happen to people. It does. It does. She didn't pick up. Yep. My mom took me cross-country runs my whole life. Wow, the Gemini. That's really cool. Good to see you. I hope it was good cross-country runs. If this is how mom is 90% of the time, then Melodee wouldn't think anything of this as it's her normal. The amount of things I've had to explain are abuse and neglect to some kids is absolutely mad. That's sad. It might have been completely normal. Hey, blessings. She's also on Section 8 from what I heard. I think it's called Where Your Rent is Very Cheap. Okay. Hey, Love Always Redacted. Good to see you. Hey, Southern Cats. So maybe she didn't have a whole lot of bills. Who knows?
And I'm hoping, and I still wait for Ashlee to give me a call and take me up on my offer. And our priority is to get Melodee back and hopefully get Ashlee the amount of mental health help that she needs, because Ashlee is a victim of sorts in this whole thing as well. When you have to raise a child alone after the child's father has died, and you've got to raise that child by yourself, and you have mental health issues, it's just going to perpetuate it, and those issues are going to get worse if you don't get treatment.
Exactly. That's why she needs to be locked up and put on some fucking medicine, in my opinion. Nicole, I believe it was November 6th. It was like a day before it was reported and hit the news. Because I remember thinking, now, wait a minute. This happened how long ago? And you're just now saying something? But no, it was like a couple of days before it hit the news. And she got charged and she got arrested. I think she got arrested on Halloween, so maybe the 26th. Denise said, I wonder why there hasn't been a psychiatric assessment. If there was, they haven't done anything about it, or could that be on purpose? Great question. Great question. So she told this Tyler dude something in reference to the whereabout of Melodee, but regretted that because. So Tyler said, okay, so by this point we had the map out. We had the map that had been released, and they said the last time Melodee was seen was at the Utah-Colorado border. So her friend Tyler went over there and was asking her about this road trip and said, did you leave Melodee at the Utah-Colorado border? Or why were you there? Why did you stop there? Something to that effect. And she became visibly upset, clenching her fist, basically talking shit, and then said, how did you know I went there? How did you know I was there? How do you know that information? And lost her shit and wouldn't let him leave the house until he told her how he knew that information. And it was because it was on the news. She was in a mental hospital a few years ago. Does anyone know how long she was in there? I don't. They had a chance to do a mental evaluation when she was arrested for holding her friend against their will. That's enough for a 5150. So, yeah, and I'm wondering why she's not still in jail. I'm wondering why they aren't holding her and making her produce her daughter. Drippy Thought Sickle, good to see you. Because they used the fact that she locked up that man as a reason to 5150 her. I mean, that and the fact that she's not producing her child. I don't know what the hell the state of California is doing. I get that everybody has rights as an American citizen that we cannot infringe on, but not having your 9-year-old minor child and not telling the police where your 9-year-old minor child is seems to be something that we could hold somebody for. And then you have the opportunity to do that when she holds this man hostage and you let her go on an ankle monitor. Like, I would think it would be, I'll let you go on the ankle monitor, which is normal procedure for us here, if you produce your child. And when she says no, let her ass sit in jail.
And so, obviously she's an adult. She's responsible for her
There is,
child.
Droopy.
But I think she needs some help as well. And so I do have a certain level of sympathy for her. This is one of those cases where I don't believe if anything happened to Melodee where she would lose her life, that that she would actually actually care about what happens. And maybe in her own mind she's trying to make this go away and make it better. But I don't know. I've not had the opportunity to actually sit down with her as I have with other family members in other situations.
I appreciate Bill for talking with me, and I'll obviously stay in touch with him. He's still involved. I am going to go to the preliminary hearing for.
Okay, so that was pretty much all of that. I'll see if I can find anything on the preliminary hearing. Kalisa said there isn't a law that says you have to produce your child, and you're right, but I still feel like Rachel said, California is dropping the ball. I wonder if they did do an evaluation, realizes she need medication, put her on medication, if she'll start talking. Then I feel like that they should have kept her in jail until she started talking. I wonder if the ankle monitor is to follow her, thinking she'll go back for Melodee. I wonder that too, but I don't know. They have to have proof of a crime to do something right. On psych evals, I think if they are of sound mind and body, then they can refuse the hold. Not 100% sure, but it makes sense. Yeah. Similar. Yeah, we were talking about how it's similar to what happened with Lori Daybell. I just don't understand how there's not a law around Melodee's schooling. I thought truancy was something the parents have to answer for. They're supposed to, but she was getting schoolwork picked up from the area, and then she didn't pick it up, so they were going to put her back in her regular school district. Oh, yeah, and then she could be arrested for truancy because Melodee hasn't been there. Good point. She would have gotten me took from everything. I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. Most people would gladly tell law enforcement they don't have to make it public knowledge if they don't want to, but they should produce their children to law enforcement to prevent suspicion. Yep. Only Benny Hill I know comes with the song Yakin Snacks. It's Paul Hill owns the property, but it says Fred Hill. Fred Hill Paul Hill is Fred Hill's uncle, and they're related to Ziggy. So we're going to look into that in just a second. First, I want to talk about this letter from the White House in the Sebastian Rogers case, and then we're going to see what we can find out about this Fred Hill person. So, let's see. 1920s, parents would send their Yes, they would send their kids by mail to go visit relatives because it was cheaper. That is, I mean, and it's cute to see some of the drawings from that back then. Hold on a minute, I'll show y'all. I saw a picture of it, and I was like, wow, that is just so interesting. Yeah. I'm going to show y'all the one that I saw. Hold on a minute. Let me see what y'all are saying. If Melodee was with someone, why would they not have informed law enforcement? Yeah, that's a good point too. But if she's part of a crime ring, then they have to play her way, or at least make it appear they aren't looking at other possibilities or people involved. And if she is involved in trafficking substances, she could have told somebody, you've got to keep her hidden because I'm scared. She could be scared that the people involved in the gang are going to hurt Melodee. What if she lost the drugs or something, and she's scared they're going to kill Melodee, so she's keeping them hidden? Then the person that has Melodee might not say anything in the interest of protecting Melodee from the gang. If following true crime has taught me anything, is that parents who are hyper-focused on their children are capable of horrendous acts. Yep. Boom, 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 bam. I know that's right. Unfortunately. Okay, let me show y'all this picture real quick. So this is the one that I saw, and I was like, wow, that is super interesting. That is from the early, probably 1900s, and people would send their children with the mailman to go visit relatives. Like, that's a child being mailed to see relatives. Here's another photo of it. See the postage stamp on their clothes? Isn't that crazy? It's insane what people used to do. We wouldn't do that now. But I mean, even thinking about that, people felt safe enough to send their children through the mail. And I'm assuming it was relatively safe at the time. What's happened to our society that people... Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. That people have changed and won't send kids through the mail. Because kids are getting hurt. I'm sorry. Why has our society changed to the extent of once we could send kids through the mail and be 100% positive they wouldn't be hurt, and they weren't, to now you can't even let your kids play outside? It's like unaccompanied minor on the airplane. Yep. The good old days, right? Did they ever deliver the kids? Thank you. As rough as Amazon tosses our stuff? Good question. All right, you're going to see my mouse move. Now, let me explain this to you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they can. I know at one point they did. Heard of someone being arrested because their kids were walking alone to the store. It's getting ridiculous. Nope. Okay, so let's explain this letter. This letter is in reference to the Sebastian Rogers case. Now, there are YouTubers who are supposed to allegedly be helping Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father, okay? And he's kind of cut off communication and won't talk to some people or something to that effect. Certain YouTubers, rightfully so, in my opinion, because it's just getting out of hand. These people are using him, I think. So allegedly, a YouTuber named Lolly, get your adverbs here. I don't know much about her. I don't watch her. But allegedly, she was reaching out to the White House on behalf of Seth Rogers, trying to get help from President Trump on the Sebastian Rogers case. Now, I want to start this with, I could not imagine having a child that's currently missing. However, there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of families in the United States that have children that are missing. They have departments in the FBI that work on that specifically. The president cannot take time out of his day to look at every single case and be with every single family. Okay. So she said that you have to keep in mind, during this time, she was trying to get Seth to call her back and saying on live streams that, I really need you to call me, Seth, because I have an important letter to talk to y'all about. I have an important letter. I need you to call me. I need you to call me. You won't return my calls. You won't answer my emails. I need to talk to you. And she said she had a letter, but she would not show it. Well, evidently she got in contact with Seth, and now all of a sudden the letter magically appears on Seth's post. This is the letter. It reads that it's from the Department of Health and Human Services, Administration for Children and Families, Administration on Children, Youth, and Families, November 17th of 2025. And it says, thank you for your email to President Donald J. Trump on behalf of Mr. Seth Rogers regarding his concerns about his son, Sebastian. The White House referred your correspondence to the Children's Bureau located within the Administration for Children and Families, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, for review. The Children's Bureau is the federal agency responsible for helping states to improve safety and well-being of the nation's children and youth. I understand this must be a difficult situation for Mr. Rogers. Although the federal government does not have the ability to help directly, I encourage you to share the following information with your friend. Since Mr. Rogers does not know the whereabouts of his son, he may wish to contact the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or NCMEC. The center provides services to family and law enforcement in cases of missing children and offers prevention tips for parents. For more information, please contact 1-800-843-5678 or visit the NCMEC website. I don't know why it does that. Similarly, the Federal Bureau of Investigation collaborates with NCMEC to investigate missing child cases that cross state boundaries. To request assistance, Mr. Rogers may contact the appropriate local FBI field office. A list of field offices is available at this website. Child Fund of America Incorporated is a national nonprofit organization that provides professional services to prevent and resolve child abduction and the family conflicts that can lead to abduction and abuse. For confidential assistance, call 1-800-426-5678. Parent Help, a service of Child Find, offers free confidential telephone assistance for parents on finding solutions to custody and visitation disputes, mediating co-parenting plans, and understanding custody, child support, and the court system. For information, you may contact the number above or visit Child Fund of America website. All state agencies have policies in place to address grievances and monitor systems operations according to applicable laws and regulations. If Mr. Rogers is dissatisfied with the child welfare agency's handling of this matter, he may file a complaint with the following office. And because he's in Tennessee, it gives you the information for the Tennessee Commission on Children and Youth in Nashville, Tennessee. They wrote the phone number and everything. Finally, the Parent and Youth Helpline is an organization designed to support and strengthen families across the country. Please encourage Mr. Rogers to connect with the helpline to speak with trained counselors and therapists who can listen to his concerns and offer support and guidance regarding his specific situation. The helpline may be contacted via the toll-free number at 1-855-4A-PARENT or 1-855-427-2736 and online at the website. I hope this information proves useful. Sincerely, Linda E. Reese-Smith, signed for Joseph J. Block, Acting Associate Commissioner of the Children's Bureau. Now, Hannah said that this was proved to be fake. I want to say that regardless, even if this is real, it seems to me that they're just trying to say, you know, basically, please stop emailing us. Please stop calling us. Like, we can't do anything. Here is a list of agencies that can help. And we all know about NCMEC. We all know, well, I didn't know the FBI collaborated with Nick Mick, but this is all just normal things you can find by doing a Google search. It's basically saying that this is what you can do. I can't help you with anything else. Please leave me alone. In my opinion. Missing and Exploited Children is a quite well-known agency. Right. I think they're just like, please stop emailing us. Please leave us alone. First of all, you're messaging us on behalf of the parent of a missing child. That person's not even the one reaching out to me. And then you keep on or whatever. She keeps on, and they're saying, look, please stop. Here's a list of things. Now, the bottom paragraph right here, it reads, all state agencies have policies in place to address grievances and monitor systems operations according to applicable laws and regulations. If Mr. Rogers is dissatisfied with the child welfare agency's handling of this matter, he may file a complaint with the following office, and then gives the office Commission on Children and Youth. Now, I think that could possibly have to do with, like, he's upset with how CPS handled Sebastian's allegedly cases. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see. And she might be, like, that could be in reference of, like, if you need help with how CPS runs their system or child welfare, this is who you contact and make that complaint. Basically, please leave us the fuck alone. So, I mean, if it's not real, that would make sense too, because Lolly was trying in the daytime with a flashlight to get Sebastian Rogers to call her back. And see, at first, oh, I got this email from the White House, but I'm not going to put it on the screen and read it to y'all. Like, refused to do that in the first live. And then now, all of a sudden, the email is out, and here it is. I don't know what to make of it, but I don't think it's what Seth thought it would be or thinks that it is. Whoever told him that they could contact the White House or that they could get him a meeting with President Trump or that President Trump was in Tennessee looking for Sebastian, please hear me when I say that you are a fucked up individual, and I hope you sleep horribly at night for telling the parent of a missing child that you can get in contact with President Trump, or you have gotten in contact with President Trump, and that he's going to help Seth Rogers specifically find his child. You are a fucked up individual, giving that man false hope like that. Just like telling him that satellites were going to be deployed soon and tagging that satellite company on X, and then that satellite company typing back, we are not having any satellites up right now, so I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Could you imagine being the father of the missing child and having all this hope that this agency is going to help you find your son and help you with connections to all these wonderful people? They've even brought in Dog the Bounty Hunter, and then you just find out it's all bullshit and they're lying to you, and you might have paid money, and they're supposed to be helping you find your child, but they're exploiting the fuck out of you. That's absolutely disgusting. And I hope each and every one of you that have done that to him and everybody else in the case and any other case rot in hell. Rot in hell. Sorry. That shit's fucked up and it pisses me off. Okay. So, let's talk about Summer Wells. Hold on a minute. Let me get my situation in order. Okay. I do too, Hannah. I feel very sorry for all the fathers and all the parents in Sebastian's case and Summer's case and Michael Monkey Vaughn and Dylan Ellers and Jack and Lily. He can't smell it either. Can't smell it either. All right. So yesterday we found out that, let me see. I'm going to try to pull it up again. The 3500 block. We had the address and I don't think I wrote it down. But basically, that they did a raid on a house on Van Hill Road in the Summer Wells case. and it was 3735 or something to that effect. Anyway, we looked it up and it belonged to a person named Fred Hill. I'm going to try to see if I can pull it up again. Joseph F. Hill is what it pulled up because I decided to monitor them. I'm signing into my account right now. Yep, and remember, let me pull it up for you guys. Remember, it said 3310 Van Hill Road, and then we looked at it, and then at the bottom, it actually had the 3537 Van Hill Road, Greenville, Tennessee. The person has no criminal record, and his name was Joseph Hill. And so that made us question who Fred Hill was, because it also comes up in the name of Fred Hill too. They own the tree service. And remember, if I go to Google Earth, hold on, let me pull it up. And we look up, oh, here it is. It just pulled right up because that's where we were at. So you can see the logs here, right? You can see this big building. You can see the truck with the gooseneck rusty trailer in the back. You see all the trees, all the logs here. And then there's the houses. And remember, it looked like a double wide that had maybe an addition or some porches on it. And then, you know, you go down the road and that's Van Hill Road right there. This was the house or property that they allegedly raided. And you can see that the area has been cleared out, indicative of them owning quite a bit of property. It looks like it's been cleared out somewhat anyway. It doesn't look like that right there. You know what I mean? And then I noticed that there appears to be two, I don't know what that is, maybe a building. There's a gate there, indicative of possibly having farm animals there, or it might be just a section of property. But there is this Lord, what do you call it? Like a trailer, like one of them things that you store stuff in. Heard it was a pig farm at some point. I don't know when, so I don't know if that's the time it shut down after. Have you heard that? A pig farm. That is a frightening thought, because pigs will. Oh no, you're fine. What? Okay, pigs will eat everything, including bones. So that is concerning. Quickly, Kelly said, and Seth getting caught up with all those YouTubers and their drama is just crazy how much he has dealt with. I agree. I definitely agree with that. Supposedly had pigs recently, but not now. That's not good either, because they could see. Like, okay, let me explain. I've heard from people in the past that, you know, if you ever get involved in some real deep shit, and somebody needs to disappear, that they could get taken to the pig farms, and the pigs will eat everything. But I mean, it's in Hannibal Lecter, but like if you ever want to get rid of a body, if your family has a pig farm, it's not that hard to do, because the pigs will eat everything, even the bones. So that's why it's concerning to learn that that was once a pig farm. Now, I don't know that these people are related whatsoever. I do believe this is the house. That's what I've heard, but I have no definitive proof of that. It has been posted online by several people who saw the police presence in the area. I believe that there was a very heavy police presence in the area, and I believe that this could be the house. The thing for me is back over here that it's registered in the last name Hill, and it was coming up as Fred Hill at one point. I remember that we saw the name Fred Hill. Okay, and so I was talking to you guys and trying to figure out who Fred Hill was. Benny Hill, whoever. Now, you guys told me that Paul Hill owns the property. Paul Hill is the uncle of Fred Hill, who is married to Ziggy. So that's where we're going to go. Movie out of the UK, Snatch, talks all about it. Lord have mercy. Yeah. Oh, yes. Thank you, Hannah, for that, because I did want to share that as well. But we're going to jump to X before I go look up Fred Hill and see what people are saying about this now. Okay, months went by till now she's missing. You're not going to be out searching. Well, I share her flyer at the beginning of my live. Beautiful sunflower. November 19th, update. Leading case led TBI agents and Halkin County Sheriff's Office detectives to a location in the 3500 block of Van Hill Road, Greenville, Tennessee, November 13th, approximately 9.5 miles from the Wells home, where Summer went missing when she was 5 years old, June 15th of 2021. So, yeah, this is going to talk about how Candace went to social media and said that she didn't want to be interviewed. We'll watch this video to catch up, to get anybody caught up quickly on what we talked about yesterday, and I will work on getting the stuff pulled up about Ziggy and all of that. Hey, Bratty Little Me, good to see you. Who died? There was another guy who used to do a roadside barbecue and would add his victims to the meat. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Okay, so here's a video on everything that's been going down as of late.
Continuing to follow TBI's statement of a new lead the agency followed up on in the search for Summer Wells.
It happened at the 3500 block of Van Hill Road, not far off from where Summer was last seen over 4 years ago. News Channel 11's Ashlee Daniel has followed up on this new information as the Amber Alert for Summer still remains active.
This is Van Hill Road. It's about 9.5 miles from the Wells family home on Ben Hill Road, where Summer was reported missing. As you can see, there are posters here with her information on them. And last week, law enforcement conducted a search on this road in the 3500 block. It's about 2 miles back from where I'm standing here. It's very
9.5 miles. What if she had been there 9.5 miles away from her home the whole time? Oh, okay, Drippy. Thank you for that information. That's scary.
similar to Beach Creek, as the homes are spread out and there is a lot of land. It's also close to the Greene County line. We did reach out to Don and Candace after the TBI confirmed a recent search in their daughter's case. They said they do not want to be interviewed as they are waiting to hear more from the TBI and, quote, otherwise, it is just more drama and stirred pain, so there was nothing to say, end.
I don't blame them for not wanting to come out and talk, because, I mean, unfortunately, when these parents come out and talk, almost every interview they do, even if it's done by somebody who is nice and decent like Duchess, in my opinion, they are scrutinized, tore apart, all theories are made up. And I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm above it either, because I go through interviews, I see things, weird movements, all of this, that, and the third, and I make judgments or speculations myself. We shouldn't do that, but we do, because we're trying to figure out the case. One thing that a lot of people don't remember that I always try to keep in mind is that people are going to be nervous going on the news. It's just like I talked about when we were talking about Stacey Wandra. He doesn't make eye contact with his camera because in his mind, it's a psychological thing. He knows that there's thousands of people watching him. So when he's lying, he's not going to make contact. He's not going to look at his phone, because in his mind, when he looks at the phone, it feels like there's 1,000 people looking back at him. It's the same thing with the media. Like when parents get interviewed by the news media, they're going to be nervous. They're going to act a little bit weird because they know that this is going to be aired for thousands and thousands and thousands of people to see. And they know it's going to be scrutinized and tore apart. And every single blink is going to be calibrated. And I'm not saying that I'm not guilty of doing that myself, because I have done it and I have speculated on it. But I think we should always call it speculation, because that's what it is. I don't blame Dawn and Candace for not wanting to come out because they've been torn up on this internet.
Quote, we reached out to Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson too and have yet to hear back. We also stopped by his office today and were told that he wasn't in. The TBI couldn't tell us what the tip about Summer was that led them here to Van Hill Road or if anything came of it. In Hawkins County, Ashlee Daniel, News Channel 11.
And so with them not saying anything about it makes me concerned. Law enforcement's following a new lead. Her parents are waiting for more law enforcement and consider media inquiries. Would only stir up drama, yeah. Okay. Lord Jesus, them people. All right, so again, the area that they swarmed in on is this area, allegedly, 3537 Van Hill Road. And this is what it looks like from Google Earth. I want to know what all them buildings are. We did pull up the plans that Cara had sent me. There's an unfinished basement and an unfinished building. That did seem a little concerning. My problem is the parents were caught in so many lies, but we don't know if it's because Summer or something else. I think it could be the same thing as Jack and Lily. They were slightly neglectful, and so they're lying to cover that up. God forbid anything ever happened to a family member of mine. I would never address the media. Yeah, and we need to make sure that people know how to address the media, that people are going to come out and scrutinize the fuck out of them when they do. I feel like that's something that should be talked about more, that when they want to come to the internet to get help to find their missing family member, that they should be given channels that aren't going to be involved in the drama or harm them. So speaking of that, this is Duchess for the missing. She's at 9,800 subscribers. It would be so very awesome if we could get her to 10,000 subscribers so she can finally do fundraising streams. Duchess is the first channel that anybody from the family went on, and it was Chris and I want to say Katie went there 8 days before it was the day before they went on the news and 8 days before Sebastian Rogers addressed the news for the first time, from my understanding. She did the very first interview with them, and so she's going back over the case tonight at 7:45. I'll share that stream with you as well. I will be there. I've got my notification on. I will be participating in chat. I hope to see you guys there. Duchess is a really amazing person, and I like her very much. So it's titled Missing Podcast with Dutch Girl MB, Sebastian Rogers, recap of facts, information, and sources. And it's at 7:45 my time. That's East Coast time. Duchess is awesome, and I like her very much. Oh, I meant Seth, not Sebastian. I'm sorry. Internet is scary. I don't even have a thick enough skin for real life, let alone the internet. I know that's right. Absolutely. Have all those buildings been there these years or any newer? Some of these could be newer. That one looks like, I mean, that piece of tin is rusted, but they could have used that from somewhere else. These look relatively new. That looks newer. And that one looks newer. When we looked at the property deed, it said that there was a house that was built in like 1910, and there was an unfinished shed and an unfinished basement. And none of this looks like a house from 1910, unless it's like that one right there. That could be it. This trailer is built in 1995, and that shows up. It says that there's a double wide from 1995, but on the property deed, it's a house built in 1910 with like no plumbing or something fucking weird. Maybe these houses is that house. I don't know, but the double wide is on there. That looks like just a carport type thing because you can see the poles there. All right. So again, please go check out Duchess. Give her a like and subscribe so we can get her to 10,000 so she can do her fundraising streams. I did. I'll drop it again. This is the link to her live stream. that she's going to do tonight, and I will be there. Put a mobile home over the kids' graves. That's so sad. I worry about that kind of stuff too. I worry about what they're building in the neighborhood where Sebastian went missing. That, Lord have mercy, that something happened with him. All right, so I'm going to try a search for Fred Hill. And here we go. Wow, we got a lot. So, since this property could be related to Fred Hill, we're now looking into Fred Hill. Friday said, I had back-to-back detached retinas and was blind for over 6 months. I had multiple surgeries in both eyes. If you have ever seen my lives, I can't make eye contact with the camera very long. Well, you are very beautiful. And I'm sorry you went through that. I think that's an explanation for that. With Stacy not doing it, it makes me concerned because even though he has fecal alcohol syndrome, he's lying his ass off. Drippy said, I see these people with little money who have more than I do and scratch my head. How? Then I remember how much money I blow on crap on Amazon. That's funny. You can definitely tell the difference in how parents are treated when a child from a rural or poor family compared to a suburban or richer family. You can. I meant to say, if you have ever watched me, you would think I'm guilty as hell. Yeah, I don't think so. I would understand. As long as you're not simultaneously caught lying, I think it'd be all right. All right, let's look at these videos from Fred Hill and see what this is about. I'm going to start with some shorts, and then we'll catch a couple videos on it because I have no idea who this feller is. 73 watching as of right now. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Please twinkle, twinkle over to the thumbs up. All right, let's see.
You were brought in for a specific purpose. Either you prove otherwise or you will be getting sued, I'm telling you.
This one is from Spirit Seeker Squad. I will drop her link or the link to the video right there.
I want to see this proof of you
contact. Cemetery, they'll never check a cemetery because that's not the final piece they're looking for.
The cemetery. Okay, is there a cemetery close to this house? I mean, I don't know that it would show it. Have we checked this pond right here? That's a logging road. So again, the reason we're looking into this because allegedly this property is owned by his uncle, the person you're hearing talking right now. I knew he was involved in the Wells case. All right, let's go back over here.
What do you mean by that?
They just won't repair it. I don't want to repair it.
Because they don't think it's, you don't think she would be there?
It's not relevant for someone's case, in my opinion. Because people say it's certain things, but I don't feel like it's relevant. And they're not going to check something that they know is what they already know.
Yeah, and that Fred had taken Con's money and stashed it in his trailer, and that the money that Fred's sister took while Fred was in jail. Oh yeah, the few hundred. Okay. You were.
So he said something about her being in the cemetery. Let's see what this one.
They was here when talking to me, and they come up the road, and he was hitting about the bridge right there hard. They come up here up the road, and when all.
So he's saying they came up the road. The dogs were hitting, cadaver dogs were hitting by the bridge. If we go back over here to our trusty map, there is a bridge on this road relatively close to the house because we saw it on Google Maps. I think it's right up here. Hold on, where is that bridge? I think it's like right here in this area right here somewhere, but I can't see it now. We saw it yesterday. Let me go back this way. That's the property address Right there. That's the driveway to their address. It's covered by trees, so we wouldn't be able to see it. It might be right down here. But no, there's a creek. It gives you, oh, that's Patterson Branch. It might be right there. And then there was a creek somewhere. Gardner Creek is right there. And it goes back that way. So maybe it's up this way. Here, maybe? Yeah, there's the bridge. Okay, so that could be the bridge. You can see the line from the bridge right there. Maybe that's the bridge. I don't know. Hey, little bit of Lisa. Good to see you. They can't eat the teeth. That's a good point. Yeah, they'd probably poop them out, which means that there would be evidence in the area where the pigs were.
To that spoiler's vehicle you see on top, and was hitting on it. They was here when talking to me, and they come up the road, and he was hitting about the bridge right there hard. They come up the road and went all the way up to that spoiler's vehicle you see on top, and was hitting on it.
So he's talking about him hitting on the bridge.
Seen her, and he's supposed to be there, not up north with his wife.
I feel like he's on the run or something. They went.
He is on the run. He is on the run. I have receipts to show that he's supposed to be. It's court ordered for him to be in rehab in Knoxville, and he's not there.
Okay, so here's the thing.
It's court ordered for him to be in rehab in Knoxville, Tennessee, and he's not there. So that tells me he's got some kind of substance abuse thing. These are pictures. I guess that's him and that person, Ziggy, maybe. Fred was on Ben Hill Road on June 15th. Obstructing an ongoing investigation involves interfering with the legal process, such as a criminal investigation, by actions like witness tampering, destroying evidence, or lying to law enforcement, is what I assume it says at the bottom. It's interesting, right? That allegedly he was on the road that Summer lives on. His uncle's property is 9.5 miles away, and it happens to be the house they just raided. That's why I was like, I need to know who the hell this feller is. Why is he pictured here with milk? Any of y'all coming in that can educate me on him, please let me know. Because I don't, like I said, I don't know nothing about it.
Seen her.
Who is this feller? Okay, Fred says Candace went to his house.
I was gone when the little girl went missing. Well,
this is Candace Wells Summers' mother. He said, I was gone when the little girl went missing. This is from Brandy Gray. I'm going to make sure to drop all the links for you guys, if you guys want to go back and look through it.
Days a friend of mine come, and Candace was walking off my driveway before she even called 911.
Okay, so Candace was walking from his driveway. Does he live close to Candace? Okay, and she's walking from his driveway before she called 911. But I don't think, I mean, that could be because she was looking for Summer. If they're friends and Summer knows who this feller is, even though he's friends with her parents, she could have walked over there. That seems normal to me, to be checking for your child before you call 911. Also, he has a record for selling and manufacturing of methamphetamines. I wish I knew more, but you have to weed through all the drama and bullshit. You do. You do. Looks like the milk carton Summer was asleep on. I was wondering if it was related to that or what. Cat in the chat, what house was raided? Where did you get that information? Because there hasn't been any proof of a raid or where law enforcement was on the 13th beside the 3500 block. Cat in the hat, it's alleged that they were at, hold on, 3537 Van Hill Road, this property. And that is alleged by people who were in the area seeing the police presence. 3537 Van Hill Road. This is allegedly, I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't there. I didn't see, I don't know. But this is allegedly the property that they raided, 3537. And when we do a search for 3537, Joseph F. Hill comes up. And Fred Hill came up as well when we were searching it. It says 3310 Van Hill Road, but then if you scroll down here, it says 3537 Van Hill Road. And Fred Hill was an alias, or it came up at some point. So, and they own Hills Tree and Bucket Service, and Hills as Tree Service. And if we go back over here, you can see there's logs and stuff. So it looks like they would be into some kind of tree service building, type of thing. And so somebody came in and said, Paul Hill owns this particular property, and he is the uncle of Fred Hill. And then y'all were telling me Fred Hill is married to Ziggy. And I knew there was somebody named Hill in the Summer Wells case related somehow to it. And so that's what I'm kind of deep diving, because I don't know much about this. I know about Summer's case, but I don't know about the connection with Fred Hill. A pig may chew it into smaller pieces and swallow. If it's a hard tooth, they may poop out. So if law enforcement took cadaver dogs there, and there was once a pig farm there, even if pigs aren't there anymore, there might be DNA in the ground, or if God heaven forbid, we're just speculating, if they did do something and anybody was fed to the pigs, and there would still be DNA evidence that the cadaver dogs would hit on. I don't think I don't know about the teeth. I hope to God that that's just a crazy conspiracy theory. Andy Bernard family? Who's Andy Bernard? I'll write it down. All right, let's finish watching this short. Oh, I didn't even think about that, Wolfpack. If they do, police, they'll hit on it, or they would have found something in the raid if something like that had happened.
I was gone when the little girl went missing. Well, there's a friend of mine come, and Candace was walking off my driveway before she even called 911.
That's interesting.
Fred Hill, why are you lying? Why? I want to know why. Tell me why. Tell me why you're lying, Fred Hill.
Okay, so this is going to be from White Boy Lockdown Radio. If you guys have not subscribed to him, I'm going to drop his link so you guys can do that. And we're going to see this video from a year ago on him. At one time, the family lived where I live, but it was way before Summer was ever born. I didn't know them at all. Really little bit. That's interesting. Okay.
For exactly a 1 minute and 10 seconds away from 110 Ben Hill Road would be Fred Hill's resident. Look how shitty this.
Whoa. Okay, so Fred Hill lives on Ben Hill Road, not Van Hill Road, like where we were looking. This is Van Hill, right? Yeah, Van Hill. So Fred lives next door to Summer. And then they allegedly raided Fred Hill's uncle's house? What the hell? Crazy Bandit, good to see you. I just asked Andy Hills about Summerwell's case, and his wife shouted at me and then timed me out. I'm sorry that happened to you. I don't know. I know Summer's case, but I don't know much about the Fred Hill connection. So that's what we're trying to figure out, because allegedly this is the property that was raided, and allegedly it is belonging to the uncle of Fred Hill. And so I'm trying to figure out who Fred Hill is, what he's all about, because he's been on YouTube. And I knew there was somebody who had been on YouTube that had the last name Hill. And when the property records came up with that last name of Hill, it made me start questioning shit. So allegedly, per White Boy Lockdown Radio, this is Fred Hill's house, and it's what, he's a neighbor to Summer, which makes sense because we just saw the short where he said Candace Wells was walking in his driveway before she called 911, which makes sense to me because he would be looking for your child before you called 911, and she could very well be at the neighbor's house. That all makes sense to me. Okay, let's see what else we can find out.
Thing is, let's have a look, shall we? Rumor has it Laura, whatever that lady is that's been on Ziggy's shit, destroyed this place. Why the dude was in jail, I don't know. Look at this shit. Disgusting. Shit everywhere. Shit
There
everywhere. All up in the woods. Look at this shit. Shit is everywhere. Look at this shit. All up the fucking thing. That's it, people. Look at this. Look
Was
at
he
this
living
shit.
in that shed?
Destroyed this fucking place.
Like we couldn't
Look at
take
that
the
shit,
trash
man.
off?
So this is where a lot of people bought meth. There is shit everywhere. Everywhere.
Okay, so it's a known meth house. Fred Hill is Andy's first cousin, Andy Bernard. Okay, thank you. Andy Bernard, Fred's first cousin. Thank you. I doubt one person made all that mess. I don't think one person made all that mess unless they just were lazy and wouldn't take the trash off, which seems absolutely possible. Because it's a lot of trash. Just take the fucking shit off. There's a whole fucking sink. You know how they say throw out everything and throw out the whole entire kitchen and the kitchen sink. Well, that's what he did. Got rid of everything, even the damn sink.
Anyhow, like I said, a minute and 1 minute, 10 seconds from Wells to here. Funny thing is,
A minute and 10 seconds away. And again, allegedly, it's his uncle's house, 9.5 miles away, that gets raided. I'm glad that these things are happening in her case. We need answers. Andy said, isn't Andy Bernard the name of the guy from The Office? Maybe. You two bad actors, do you know much about Fred Hill? You ain't country unless you had a couch and a washing machine on your front porch. No fucking doubt. But y'all know me, I'm country as hell.
Ain't scared to get dirty, baby. Cornbread fed, we curving, baby.
All right. It was a moment I could actually play that one. You don't know nothing about it, okay? Did a creator med? Yeah, Barb. Allegedly, Ziggy.
on the way here, some meth head abandoned like a
We don't know.
Volkswagen Rabbit. Haven't seen one of those in forever. It's gray. It's just abandoned. Coming here, before you get here, you see Fred Hill's father's house, which is probably 30 seconds from the wells. So a minute and 10 seconds, Fred Hill, 30 seconds, the father, and literally from the end of the wells driveway, it would be a 5-second walk, maybe 10 seconds to Jody Sue. Everybody in the holler, very.
So he just did say that name, Jody Sue. Andy Bernard is Jody Sue Brown's ex. And Andy Bernard is allegedly Fred Hill's first cousin. Corey, good to see you. Dirty, yeah.
Very close to each other. Like very close to each other. Again, here's a good picture of the landscape. You see that big ass hill? Everything's hilly here. Hills everywhere. The hills have eyes. Foliage.
Ha 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 ha.
Is down. Normally you couldn't see that. That's the angle I was trying to get from the roof video.
Yeah.
Anyhow, this is Fred Hill's residence. I guess Lady Laura, allegedly, and rumor has it.
It is pretty late.
There's no way she did this all by herself. This shit has been like this for some time, people. I mean, what in the fuck is going on? What?
So, Nona Rocks said, "Does anyone know if anyone was arrested or evidence seized? Probation search by chance." The they released a report, the TBI, saying that they did a search related to a tip, and I think we saw that they had been investigating for like a year. And okay, what they definitively said was that the TBI, Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, and FBI, I do believe they said FBI. I know it was TBI and Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. Were searching, following a lead in the Summer Wells case. People in the area stated that there was a heavy police presence at this residence on that day that they did the search to the lead. We looked up this residence, 3537 Van Hill Road, and we got the information of Joseph Hill. And then I knew that there was somebody with the last name Hill that was heavily involved in this case. And so I started looking it up. The police stated that there definitely was something done in relation to the Summer Wells case. So that's kind of what we're deep diving. I don't know why there was a toilet with a broken toilet with artificial flowers. We're at 243. Hold on, it was saying that it's not sharing my audio. If y'all can't hear that, let me know. Hey, content. Fred Hills. Now, I know a lot of y'all are saying that they don't pick up trash out in the country, but let me tell is somebody no sound from the video. Okay, hold on. As somebody who has lived in the country and had to pay for trash pickup most of my life, I paid for trash pickup. When I could not afford trash pickup, I went to the I went to the landfill. I took my shit to the landfill. Like, you can be poor. I'm talking about, I have been very, very poor. You can be poor and not be living like that. Sorry. Like, if the trash don't come out there, you can take it to the landfill. That's just, in my opinion, a drug habit that was not being maintained. I mean, that a drug habit that he had, and he was not maintaining keeping his property clean. Kelly. Yeah, you can burn it too. Yeah, you don't have to be trashy. Dirty kids are happy kids. Little kids should be getting into everything and being messy as fuck. I agree with that, but like, not to that extent where there's just trash everywhere. Like, I agree with kids playing in the mud and the dirt and learning about all of the things in the woods and all of that, but not actual trash. Fred and Laura were meth addicts. Who is Laura?
This shit has been like
Let me know
this
if y'all can't hear
for some
it.
time, people. I mean, what in the fuck is going on? What in the fuck is going on? What in the this literally looks like a mini dumpster. A mini dumpster. A mini landfill, I should say. There's shit everywhere. Everywhere. Who would ruin a beautiful piece of property like this? I would love to live out in an area like this.
Yeah.
So from here, you have the end of the holler. There's many more houses and many more people. I don't know who they are. But see the beautiful creeks that run through this thing. Why have all this trash ruin this place? It is insanity to me. Insanity. There's a better look. See the hill behind it. This is Fred Hills. Better look.
Well, that house is absolutely destroyed. I was like, damn, is he living in some kind of shack? The whole fucking side of it's torn off. Is that a porch that he like fenced in with fucking tin? Some people take their own to the dump and others are not required by the city to keep up. Just don't. Yes, you can be poor, not trashy, but it's harder. I have neighbors take things I can't. I'm glad you have good neighbors like that. Is Laura the one with the little girl, same age as Summer? She stayed with them for a bit. Maybe. Yeah. Right, Barb? Andy Hill. Okay, who's Andy Hill? I need to know who the Hill family is. That's what I'm trying to learn about today.
Better look. There's where the holler ends. Don't know those people, but that's where the road ends. Ben Hill ends there. They keep their shit really good. Keep them off the internet. Don't know them, but shit everywhere. Fred Hill, give you what type of person this guy is. I have no idea, but like I said, abandoned car down the road. A lot of arrests out here for meth. Fred Hill's house coming at you live and intact. White Boy Radio. Smash that fucking like.
Okay. Don Wells threatens Fred Hill, Summer Wells case. All right, let's see what this is about. This is going to be from JLR. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. I mean, I go across, I'm close to a state line, and I go across the state line and take scrap all the time. Because, I mean, if I got to get rid of it anyway. If I'm going to get rid of it, I'm going to get paid to do it. Kids should never be in that mess. We have rattlesnakes big enough to eat ponies in Tennessee. Really? That is insane. I don't think there were any kids in it that I know of. Downhill, up the hill. Yeah. Okay. So let's watch this video from JLR.
Investigate. Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. This video is for educational.
I'm going to skip it ahead a little bit.
Everyone that comments in this chat, please be Wells, Summer's father. Don Wells. Don Wells, Summer's father. Well, Don Wells was just speaking on a YouTube channel last night. It appears that Don Wells was under the influence.
Okay. I'm not going to, I mean, anybody that has a missing child, I would say maybe it's not a good idea to be getting fucked up, but I'm not, like I've said many times, if my child was missing, I'd be licking the fucking wallpaper. So the first place Don went was Fred's house looking for Summer. I think so, Barb. We'll dig into that in a minute. And that's why Kiko, thank you for being here. That's why we saw that video where he stated that Candace was at the end of his driveway before she called 911, which makes sense to me because she would be looking for Summer. Fred married Ziggy. Do you know much about his family? Because allegedly this is the place that was just raided, and allegedly it belongs to Joseph Hill, and allegedly Joseph Hill is the uncle of Fred Hill and owns several properties.
YouTube channel called Jenkies Rumor Has It. So credit for them. I'm going to play a clip, and it came from their channel. Now, Don Wells was talking about Fred Hill, and he made threats at Fred Hill. Unbelievably threats. I cannot believe that Don Wells would be threatening Fred Hill, but he did. And he also shared a lot about his feelings on Fred Hill. If you guys don't know who Fred Hill is, that is a neighbor of Don and Candace Wells in Hawkins County, right around where Summer Wells went missing. But I'm going to share this clip with you right here, right now. And also credit to the YouTube channel Ziggy, who actually spoke to Fred Hill, who was in jail, by the way, just got arrested, but was able to get an image of him via the, the telephone, jailhouse phone.
So this was 2 years ago. I guess this is before they got together. Didn't Fred kind of allude he knew stuff too? I'm wondering, is this Ernie? What's his name? Ernie. I don't know. Y'all have to educate me on this. I know about Fred and the lies he has told, not much about his family. So, what kind of lies has he told, Kiko? Thank you for being here. Michelle Walks has 2 channels, Michelle After Dark and Michelle Walks. Yeah, I saw some of her videos and I'm trying to put it all together for me. Ernie Shell? Bernie Shell. Who's Bernie Shell?
Call. So I'm using that photo. Credit to Ziggy for that. So check this clip out, and then we will further discuss.
Fred Hill, that's where Fred Hill is now. A-Block. He's probably got my old cell. A05.
Dang. From what I heard, though, he's in there for protection reasons, though, ain't he?
That's what they told me.
I reckon he got pretty. He got a rude awakening when he come in.
Yeah. I don't know if I believe that story.
Why would they want to kill him when he came in? You're from Scotland? I'm looking for people who know the case. Ernie Shell is wanted in Arkansas. That's interesting. Proudfoots have been so kind to me all day. Well, that's good. Chasing Truth has done a lot on Summer. Not sure about updates. I need to check her out. So many lies, even his alibi. It's all on video. So many lies. Interesting. It's really interesting that this person's out here on the internet and it's his uncle's property that got raided, allegedly. Ernie Shell was running down the highway. Little Ricky Bobby from Talladega Nights. Wow. Southern Cats has been a member for 9 months. We got a YouTube baby. That's so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that milestone with us today.
Amazing.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you sharing that. That was so sweet of you, Southern Cats. And thank you for the continued support. He just isn't a good person, wanted for assaulting an officer. I think the Proudfoots are good people too, and I feel bad about how they've been treated by some too.
Probably ripped somebody off is what it is.
We probably found somebody in there that he'd already ripped off, and they's like, "Hey, look,
They might be mad at him for other things going on the outside.
Fred Hill used to roam around. I'd get up, like if I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning or something and looking around, he'd be out on somebody's horse with a flashlight, riding around for who knows what reason.
That's weird.
It makes sense if he was on that math for him to be riding on a horse at 2 o'clock in the morning, shining a flashlight.
All night long. I caught him one time. I went to talk to him. I've talked to him several times because I thought he has to know something. I caught him on other people's property, taking stuff from other people's property.
Oh, that's what he's doing on the horse then with a flashlight.
Well, he has a golf cart, and he was on a golf cart and taking people's stuff from other people's property.
So, to be fair, if he is on the math and out roaming around all hours of the day and night, yeah, he probably would have seen something suspicious. But again, is he the one that we should be looking at because they allegedly raided his uncle's property? He was snipe hunting. He sure was. Tripping, more like it, said Crazy. What was Dawn doing at that time at 2 o'clock in the morning? That's another good question. Barb said that Candace invited Ernie to dinner when Dawn was in jail. Oh, shit, son.
I never said nothing till this point.
Yeah. Well, hell, I mean, the truth is the truth. And to be honest with you, somebody gets hooked on that meth, and he'll say anything in that daggum jail say what he's got to say. That's why, you know what? I'm like, I'm taking his word with a grain of salt because I think he's jonesing to get out of there to get drugs.
Of course.
So, you know,
Course.
I'm like, well, I want an end to this and I want a resolution, but, you know, I want Summer to be okay. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't want him to be lying and just trying to get out of jail and trying to work some kind of deal or something. That ain't cool at all.
He's been lying since day one.
But I don't trust him either, though. I don't.
I've been up to his house several times trying to get answers, and he started talking about meth monkeys out in the woods and everything else, stirring me off in the wrong direction. I mean, yeah, all kinds of wild stories he'd tell me, and
So, snipers, shadow people, meth monkeys in the woods, things like that. Barb said Ernie was trying to get info from Candace. I believe that.
We know this and another one. You know, how do we know he's not even making this? You know, dead men tell no tales, right?
Exactly. He's just trying to get notoriety, money on his books. That's all he cares about.
And I thought it was convenient when I found out that old Cotton was dead.
Exactly. He's going to blame it on the dead man. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Sometimes people will do things to get the, you know, get the look off themselves. You know, blame it on a dead person. That's a good way to go about it.
I'll guarantee.
So, who is Cotton that's deceased? Look at Summer looks just like her daddy. Tammy, thank you for popping in, and yeah, twinkle twinkle baby. If y'all don't mind, twinkle twinkle over to thumbs up.
Come on, players, stop hating. Stop hating. Start participating. Start participating, Star. Come on, twinkle twinkle, baby. Twinkle twinkle.
Yeah. Snipes are shorebirds. They walk funny. That's interesting. Like Fred's bangs. Hold on, I'll show you what
The detectives are trying to talk to him, but he keeps talking him way out in left field somewhere. And that's why I want to beat his ass so bad. Because he could be the person responsible for Summer's disappearance. Because he got meth heads going in and out of our road day and night, all day long, all night long. And he could be the person responsible for Summer's disappearance. And he wants.
Don might have been onto something, considering again that they allegedly raided Fred Hill's uncle's house. There's Fred right there. That's what them bangs look like.
Wants to sit there and talk crazy. The boy needs his ass beat.
Yeah, he probably gonna get that.
He needs it.
Eventually, he gonna get that.
He's looking at probably a decade in the pen, so
yeah, he's
well,
he'll get his fair share.
He wants to play games after my daughter's disappearance.
That's what's so bad about it.
Yeah, exactly. When the police was up there at my house, I says, "You're not going to go knock on Fred Hill's door or some of these meth heads around here?" I says, "Then let me the fuck out of the way, and I'll go do it myself." And they says, "Well, we can't stop you, Mr. Wells. You're a free man." I said, "Yeah, that's right." And I went over there and I drove to his house and I about kicked the fucking door in. And he's like, yeah. Well, I seen some meth heads up there on the ridge and blah, blah, blah. And talking all kinds of crazy.
So he's been sus from day one. This is real interesting. Lori Ann, the man that you see right here is Summer's father, Don Wells. This is a picture of Fred when he called Ziggy from jail. This is Summer Wells right here. Fred is talking to a YouTuber, and they're talking about Fred.
Yeah.
That seems awful suspicious to me.
Cannot get a straight answer out of him for nothing. And here he is playing games again on Ziggy's Live and everything else. Cannot get a straight answer out of him.
I watched that because I was trying to watch his body language and see how he was acting. And I noticed he'd start getting anxious and he'd start rocking. That's a self-soothing mechanism. And if you study
Really?
people's body, yes, when people start rocking, that's a self-soothing mechanism when they're nervous or lying, possibly. So
You know
that's
what?
You know, and how many times have we seen that? Jen Soto, so many other people's that self-soothing thing that they do when they're guilty as fuck. So, damn. Cara said Donna's drunk as usual. Again, I'm not going to harp on that, man, because if my child was missing, I'd probably be real fucked up too, to the point of licking the wallpaper. So this person's been sus from the beginning, and they said, I remember reading, don't take it, and etch it into stone, but allegedly they had been following this lead for a year, and allegedly it's Fred Hill's uncle's house. So that means that Fred Hill could have done something to Summer and then taken Summer and put her on his uncle's property, even without the uncle knowing. He could have said, I got some things I need to bring over here and put in the storage shed, and got a trailer or even a bag or something and put Summer's body out there somewhere. It's kind of what we're thinking.
Well, I can get a hold of the behavior panel and ask them what they think about it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Ask him to watch that,
Yeah.
because another thing is he kept fluttering his eyes, like he'd flutter his eyes real fast. Like I studied psychology in college, and I'm telling you, like, so watch for that rocking. That's a self-soothing thing people do when they're guilty. That Shanann Watson's husband, he did that same.
Okay, so there we go. Chris Watts did it too. Kiko said Fred is very sus to me and is a suspect in Cotton's death and robbery. So tell me about Cotton's death and robbery. Why would Fred be so calm now, though? I want to know if Fred has come online since this raid happened. He could be calm because he knows he got away with it. Or if he's still abusing substances, that could help.
Same thing. Whenever he was being interviewed on TV, he was rocking, and Don did it. That is to try to like calm yourself down. It's subconscious. You don't even realize you're doing it.
Right. Exactly.
It's like rocking your foot, tapping your foot, or sitting there jittering your knee.
Yeah. Carson, my theory was always Candace Jr. did it, but Don had been doing whatever to Summer all along, but I'm always open to new info. So I do remember when I've looked into this case before that Don was convicted of some kind of sexual stuff or something, and he's got a daughter that won't talk to him. Behavioral panel did do it. Interesting.
You notice little kids or something, if their
I
parents
will
are fighting,
call. I will call Greg and ask him what he thinks, and I will definitely get back to you on that for sure.
Yeah, you need
I will
to.
definitely
Brittany's
do
right.
that.
He is also detoxing at this time when he was sitting there rattling off. So
he's a everyday user. He shoots that crap in his arm.
Yeah, and it's
so he's probably been sick for the last week. Yeah, for the last 2 weeks.
I felt sorry for him, and I give him a black truck. I says, you haul that stuff off, whatever, because I didn't want to clutter up my driveway. He hauled that crap off. I says, the motor's good. It's a brand new motor, bored 30,000 over. And all he needed to do is put a harmonic balancer in it. But he hauled it straight to the junkyard for meth.
Maybe.
I think it was, oh man, I don't know.
See, that's the thing. And that affects your brain. So, he's not going to be thinking straight in his head for a little while.
To be honest, Barb said Don was drunk before Summer went missing, and he was a big substance abuser. To be honest, I think that if you're already abusing things and then your child goes missing, that's probably just going to make it get worse. Could you imagine trying to stop abusing substances and your child's missing? I don't know that I could do it. I believe Don Wells was under investigation at one point for essaying his stepsister, Jean, at age 5. I heard her interviews. Okay, so we need to look for the stepsister, Jean's interviews. Jeanne. Okay, we'll look into that. There's so many people wrapped up in this shit. I can't keep up. There is a lot. Just in the background on Ziggy's channel, Fred Will Talk, I think he said the man property on Van Hill was his uncle. I need to see if he's done an interview since that house has been raided. Could Sean Williams have been laying them off with stuff? Who's Sean Williams? Let me write that name down. I'd like to, we need to do more on Michael Monkey Vaughn because I'm kind of deep diving that one and Summer Wells with y'all together. Dawn's sister claims SA by Dawn. She is widely believed. She doesn't speak to Dawn. There are YouTube videos about this. So I'm going to look that up as well. So we're going to deep dive Summer and continue to deep dive Monkey's case. Ziggy got some new Summer Wells videos in last 24 hours. Is she still Fred's significant other? I think so. 2 sisters. He said his sister enticed him. What the fuck?
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
Shut the front door.
That's right.
Is it
And
right?
honestly, the best place he could be is jail because
Absolutely. I
Oh,
agree with you
no.
100% on that.
I mean,
Yep.
you know,
That's right.
at least they'll
That's
keep him off
right.
that crap for his head to get right, and maybe he might have an answer to something, and then they can give him a lie detector test, and then maybe they'll get somewhere.
How
Yeah,
old were
I
they,
agree
y'all,
with you.
at the time that she alleged it happened?
There was a lot of traffic coming in and out of our holler because of Fred Hill. He needs to own up to this shit. That fucking asshole needs to own up that
And
he's
you know
the
what else,
fucking
Don?
reason that all that traffic was coming in and out of our holler. And I want to beat his ass so bad and make him realize this.
Wow. Don.
Paul's game on point. So we're blaming him specifically for all of the methamphetamine traffic in the holler. And thinking that he could have something to do with it. How does suspect
But
Fred Hill and his wife really feel
Jody,
about
or
YouTuber share? Fred said. All right, let's look up Ziggy, or I'll check Six Up Media. $13 ago, 16, 19. RJ and Ziggy talk Summer Wells and the new search. Okay, people need to stop with misinformation of Fred. Please reference Fred's words. Let's see what this says. My computer's being stupid. So this is Ziggy's channel. She allegedly is the significant other of Fred Hill, Sean Williams. I will look that up. Cher is crazy. His sister told mother, and mother told her to shut the fuck up. I don't know. I heard about that lie detector scandal shit. So I don't really fuck with her. I mean, I haven't even before, but 8 days ago, 11/11 Fred Hill birthday discussion about Summer Wells. That would have been right before it happened. It happened on the 13th. So 11, 12, 13. Is the couch gold or brown? I'm done with the stupid games. Hang out and talk. Hang out. Don Wells tries calling 2 days in a row. Okay, so here talks specifically about the search. That's the one we need to see. She's just talking the whole
hey guys. So we're in a new setup because I'm over here in where I was setting up product. They have some new settings here.
So this is Ziggy. Again, this is not my content. This is where she's talking specifically about the search. I need to know if she says anything about it being his uncle's property. Actually, we can do a transcript search real quick and see, and we'll listen to it. if you ever want to search a transcript for a word specifically, you go down to where I just did right here in the description box, click show transcript. Okay. And then you have this transcript on your keyboard. If you hit Control F, this box pops up, right? And I'm going to search for the word uncle. So there's 7 times uncle is missing. I mean, uncle is mentioned. Here's a comment. What number does Fred's uncle live at? Okay, Fred's uncle's property. Okay, so right here. So those people were like trying to say it's like Fred's uncle's property. That's far from that, not near here. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to go ahead and play it because she does talk about it.
So sorry, it's freaking weird.
Great.
Yeah, Fred is around here and he'll probably be in here.
I don't know much about it. Yeah, it's voices behind the wall. It's
I
Cher's
guess
channel.
this Van Hill.
Quickly, the lie detector thing was that voices behind the wall raised money or was getting money, and she said she was going to give somebody involved in the Summer Wells case a lie detector test. And then when it came time, she said she had it scheduled and all of that. It came time to do it, and she made up some kind of excuses. And then basically, I think she came out and admitted that she didn't do it and it wasn't ever going to. That's all I know about it. I don't know much about it. I remember hearing about it briefly, but I didn't go and look into it. You feel like that whole holler is full of pervs. God, I hope not. All right. Ziggy talking about the raid.
Search. Okay, actually, let's go to WJHL. Actually, yeah, I got the location pulled up. There was a search recently due to a tip. They said it is definitely far from cold, this case. And anyways, let's read this. Hey, Rhiannon, RJ, Donna, Faith. Thank you guys all for being here.
It needs top to bottom.
I'm just going to read the article. Law enforcement follows up on lead in Summer Wells case. This was, so this was in Van Hill Road and what everybody was talking about. Let me pull up my chat so I can see.
So I might ask her if she wants to talk to me about this case and I don't know, give me some information. I know that she's like controversial, and I'm not going to say that like if she did come on and if I was able to talk to her here or on her channel or something, I'm not going to say that I would believe every word she says, and I'm not going to say I'm not. I don't know. All I know is that there's people who make videos and say that it's not a good situation. Again, I don't know. I don't know about this case. Regardless, I'm sure she could give me information about the case that I don't have. Okay. Fred's uncle and Andy Bernard's great uncle. I'm a mod and not even subscribed. Oh my God, really, Drippy? So do you know about what the whole lie detector controversial? First cousins once removed. I believe voices behind the wall were active users. That was Cher and her mom. I don't recall his name. She aligned herself with Leilani Simon's grandmother, raised money to go down there, and put a banner up on her fence. I did subscribe, but not showing up in my subs. Don't know why. Interesting. Hey, Hio. Good to see you. Good to see you. Cher hasn't posted for a month. She stole from a member. That's fucked up.
Also on my phone one. Yeah, the setup is, I'm sorry guys that the setup is up. It's kind of different. It's in portrait mode, sorry. But anyways, it says more than 4 years after Summer Wells was reported missing from her home in the Beach Creek community of Hawkins County, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation confirmed the case is far from cold. A TBI spokesperson said agents along with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI continue to investigate what happened this summer. On Thursday, November 13th, the TBI and detectives were at a location in the 3500 block of Van Hill Road in Greenville, following up on a lead in the case. That area is about 9.5 miles from the Wells family home on Ben Hill Road via State Route 347. News Channel 11 followed up with the TBI asking if the agency could provide details about the nature of the tip, if anything had been substantiated from it, and how long it had been since agents followed up on a similar sort of lead in the field. The spokesperson could not release any further details, but said agents continue to follow up on leads as they come in, and the investigation remains active and ongoing. Law enforcement's updates on the case have primarily consisted of releasing age-progressed photos of Summer since her disappearance. There is still an active Amber Alert for Summer, and no one has been arrested or charged in the connection with her disappearance. News Channel 11 also reached out to Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson for additional information. So hopefully we'll hear more. I was seriously, because of the stuff that some people started saying from information that I had put out on my live, I kind of was concerned that this was like a hoax, because
I don't blame you in the beginning.
Some of the stuff that people were saying, but thankfully let's pull up the area.
Connie, good to see you. False imprisonment charge has been dropped against Ashlee. Thank you for letting me know that. I will write that down and we'll look into it. I'll see what they're saying. I knew that she would appear in court while we were live. So we'll get the results of that court case before we leave for the day. Thank you for letting me know, Connie. I appreciate that. Doug Hutton started the hunt for Summer Wells long before anyone, including Cher. Interesting. Thank you for that. A lot of times we talk about things on here that a lot of people aren't talking about yet, and then they pick up on it. Michelle After Dark has a good family tree. I was going to look into some of her videos on this situation, so thank you for that too. Doug got canceled. Interesting. Be careful. But been accused of thievery. Oh, okay.
It must have been a pretty
I like her too. Took a member's credit card. Oh no.
Pretty
case was dismissed. Thank you for that, Connie.
Substantial tip for them to actually follow up on. Also, they must have actually felt it was very credible.
Obviously.
What was I going to do? Pull up the location. I'm sorry that you can't see very well. I'm sorry, guys. So I was pulling up the 30. This is the closest I could get to. It's around this area right here. I don't know what this is right here or whose property. This is 3243, around that. But when you go down just a little ways, 3243, 3282, but then it jumps up to 3730. So it's right here.
Straight across right there.
It's somewhere in
that's
these
Fred
woods.
In the background right there. Allegedly.
That's where 3500 shows on.
I mean, you're not going to mention that you're related to these people on this road at all?
Is there a way to put it in overhead view? I don't know.
Remember, this was the day of. So she didn't have that address yet that we have. Okay, and for me, let me pause this. She starts talking again. I'll pause it. For me, it's this man lived
Frank is the one that
beside.
lives right there where all that junk was. He think
For me, it's the fact that Fred Hill lived beside Summer Wells. That he's been suspected in his brother's homicide and the disappearance of Summer Wells, and this house is 9.5 miles away, and his family with Fred Hill, and we're just not even mentioning it yet. Everyone's related up there to that extent, like 10 miles both ways. I'm wondering. Oh, really? I will. Good to see you, DJ. I will after we hear what she has to say about Fred and this being his uncle's house allegedly.
his name.
Well,
I don't. And then the next house up, I don't know who that is.
so street view says right around here. I want to look at it. Okay, like that. There we go. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I don't know who lives there. No. I know who lives
3202 Van Hill Road. Oh, really? I don't know. There's not really a house that
There's nothing there, but it goes back this way. Somebody's saying Jinky's trying to say that pond is Candace's favorite fishing hole.
Oh, I know somebody else.
This right here.
Oh, really?
They-
That's what also when Evil Enter was telling me that's her a fishing area.
I wouldn't think it would be, but
It doesn't really have a.
So it's about right here that she starts talking about the uncle. I remember it was about the 700 mark. I mean, the 7-minute mark.
So, and those people like were trying to say it's like Fred's uncle's property. That's far from. That's not near here.
I've got a cousin that lives on out here, right here that owns Hill Tree Trimming Service.
So it's his uncle, because again, when we looked at the property, Joseph F. Hill, right here's the address, 3575. They can't even find a house that's located at the 3500 block. This definitely is because it's 3537. And he just said his cousin runs Hill Tree Service, and possible employers and possible business affiliation is Hill's Tree Service. So he's saying it's his cousin. And that is the house that got raided, allegedly. From everything I can find, this is the house. That was the house that got raided. Yeah, of course you got a cousin on that hill.
Oh, and so that's what people were talking about as far as a tree company being right there.
Hill's Tree Trimming. But we was told it was on up right here where they was searching, right in here, where we was told at first that they were searching.
Yeah, at first that's where they are acting like it was. And let's see, 35. Look, that came up 30. Wait, hold on. No, wait, no, it must 3430.
Yeah.
So it is right around here.
Yeah. That's where they said that there's that right in there.
And who is that owns that property? 3430.
I don't know who owns that.
That's the same one we were looking at. Okay, so maybe it is right around.
What's that address? That'd be Hawkins County.
3537. That's the 3500 block.
But they said that they's on this side, parked up that holler and stuff right here.
I wonder if it could be. Do you know who lives there?
That's my uncle. That lives there.
Oh, really?
So he is admitting that it's his uncle.
He's a preacher, and I don't think that we talked to his son, and he didn't say anything.
He didn't know what.
So I really don't think that, guys, but
So allegedly, the guy's a preacher, and they talked to him, and he didn't mention it. But this is the day of the raid. Oh, a holler. That's my uncle right there. The day we gonna get on this here live stream. That's my uncle right there.
I guess, I mean,
It's
that
a
is the
bunch of hills.
3500 block, though.
I mean, if he said he talked
How
to his
about
uncle
Zillow?
and they didn't say
Huh.
anything, I don't.
I wonder. I'm dying to know what this tip was. Is that a pond right here?
Yeah.
So the guy seems, I mean, like he doesn't know anything, but is he just trying to like make it seem like he doesn't, like, he's not involved? He does seem very calm right now talking about it. Candace Wells has a sister, Rose Bly, that has been missing for over 20-something years. Wow, that's crazy. Candace is from an area not far from me. Hey, young black economist, nice to see you. I've seen you in other chats. It's good to see you here. The fact that he's a preacher makes him more sus to me. I don't know about y'all. Yeah, I used to. I knew some preachers in my day that yeah, they were buying the cocaine. Not good. Not good. Not that all would do that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a martyr for the community. Some are, some are not. How is Fred saying that he's working for the police as in a confidential informant, yet he's a suspect?
That's an interesting, or
And
somebody could probably go out back on these dirt roads
Oh, well, thank you. It's nice to see you.
and
nice to
go
meet you.
back around because it looks
That's
like.
straight up a mountain now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Must see if she says anything about it being his
How
uncle.
old is Paul?
Again.
Paul, he's like
Real
80,
quick.
isn't he?
I'm not sure how old he is. He's up into yours.
He would be your dad's brother, right?
Yeah, he's your younger than my dad.
So he's in his 70s and he's a preacher or a pastor. So I don't know, but I guess that is around the area.
But they talk like on Facebook
It's on this
Messenger
side.
that it was on this side at that one house in the curb.
Yeah, they were acting like it was right around here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to
But they
jump
said
to where she's
along with
talking about his
Hawkins
uncle
County,
again.
TBI. But we don't know who lives right here at this place. And I've been trying to find out. So let me go back.
This is where she talks about it being his uncle or an uncle again.
Right
Right?
here,
It doesn't necessarily mean it's
3300 Van
anything
Hill.
bad, but it doesn't
Yeah, that
cancel
was
it
the
outright the road
same.
either.
Van Hill
as
was
in-
the same road
Yep.
that them Kentucky
I
kids
agree.
killed that family on, that Payne Road. About a mile from that.
When did that happen?
Oh, that's been a long time now.
So again,
Crazy Bandit said he recorded Don Wells the day after Summer went missing. The police asked him to take alcohol up to them, and he had a recording device. They said that on Ziggy's channel this week. Interesting. Yeah, you don't go if you're a confidential informant. You do not go around announcing it. Sounds like he's taking a page from Drummond. Yep, it sure does.
That's probably 25 years ago or longer.
it would be okay.
I
So
hope so.
Paul Hill lives right here, which is he is a Fred's uncle. He's like a 80-year-old man, a pastor. Here 3400. We don't know who lives there, but I guess it's supposed to be in between these two properties somewhere.
It's interesting though that he mentioned that this is his cousin's house, the 3537, which is the 3500 block of Van Hill Road, and they have logs. I mean, it's obviously a tree cutting business, and he said that's his cousin. I'm wondering if this is the Paul Hill's house, 80-year-old man who's a pastor is what I have written down just now. Because again, when we did this yesterday, it showed Paul Hill. Now it's showing Joseph Hill, and I clicked because I clicked to follow this person, and it says 3310 Van Hill Road. So they might have been talking about Joseph at 3310 Van Hill Road, and Paul might be at the 3537. But right here, it's that address is located or close to them. I just clicked on it, so let's see what the property report says. Okay. So, see, it's an agricultural area built in 1995, 1,232 square feet, 27 acres. And it gives us the parcel number. That's definitely the house we're looking at. The buyer is Joseph F. Hill. So Joseph Hill owns this property too. Jennifer Hill sold it to Joseph Hill November 2nd of 2009. Owner one is Paul Hill. And that, again, is this property, which is the 3537 Van Hill Road. So it's what the fuck is his name? Fred Hill's cousin or uncle. I need them to give me more information on the family. Also, with all that empty land out there, it is possible that someone who didn't even live on the property could dispose of something. So I'm just open to more information. Me too. And I'm thinking that Fred could have taken, since Fred lived next to Summer and has been a suspect in this, it's not out of the realm of possibility for me that he could have done something to Summer, taken her out to that property because it's 27 whole entire acres, and been like, I'm just going to bring some trash over to your house. I just want to park my trailer here, something, et cetera, et cetera. I want to bring some stuff to store here, and could have had Summer and hidden in something and put her somewhere on the property or disposed of her on the property. There was pigs there. We've went down that road in this episode. I'm hoping that the police are going to take cadaver dogs out there when they did the raid, and that we'll get more information soon. I certainly hope. So that makes me think, was it about substances or money or something more that was maybe about to come after Sean Williams got caught as he was hiding in Greenville? Don't know. This is the last part I think they talk about it. I've still got it up so we can search for it, but I'm going to play where she talks about the uncle again. And then we'll look up Sean Williams before I have to go.
Where they talked, they was lined up this driveway right here.
Yeah, people were saying they were like parked over here.
In that hollow and lined up this driveway right here.
But and we thought, since we were telling people, we had gone live and told people that Fred's uncle lived near the area, and I mentioned his name, I thought, people were spreading false information. I mean, I guess they some of them were, because they were saying he was arrested and stuff, and that's not true. But that's definitely not true. And we talked to his son, and he didn't say anything, but I didn't talk to his son. Fred did. Yeah, but I'm thinking that was the whole arrest thing. They just said on the news nobody was arrested. Now, would they lie to us? Probably. Who knows? There is a tree trimmer. The hill, like Fred was saying, there is a tree trimming. What, right here?
Yeah, Frankie owns it. Frankie Hill.
Frankie Hill.
Cousin.
Yeah, that's Fred's cousin's.
Hill's tree trimming. I think it was Hill. Used to be.
It's a tree trimming place. It used to be. I don't know if it's still. Fred doesn't know if it's still owned by his cousin.
Sure it is. That's where he lives. So.
Yeah, I'm guessing it is. So. Yes,
I don't know who lives in between them. from his address to Paul's address. Like Gardner Gap.
And there is those, like we were saying, there's this pond right here. But
So she's saying the way they've got it, she's saying that it's somebody in between this house, which is owned by Joseph Hill, and this house, which is owned by Freddie or Paul Hill, which is his cousin. But I don't think there's any houses or areas here in between the two houses. Not that I can see anyway. And this is 3430. That's 3416. They said the 3500 block. Damn it. This is 3537. And I mean, I don't see any more houses. What is this one? That's not giving me a number. Maybe that one? I don't know. I genuinely think it's the tree service one. That's the one we were told. But I could be wrong. All right. Now I'm going to look up this person that you said, Sean Williams. They would be taking lumber to sawmills and chipping the scraps. So many opportunities for foul play. Yeah. As a child, going to Tennessee and touring the caves, tourist guided, was so fun. And the state is beautiful. Riding the incline up the Lookout Mountain was chilling. I'm afraid of heights. I'm afraid of heights too. Paul Hill is Fred Hill's uncle and Andy Bernard's second uncle. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, let's see. Oh, the Tells. One Tells. What is this? Fred's earliest stories, Toyota truck and polygraphs. Five-year-old Summer Wells was said to Skyline by a resident of Rogersville. What they say is first-hand knowledge video. Skyline News was live with Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. Okay. We'll look at that in a minute. Let's look up, I gotta go.
But again, I stressed you, there's a reason that nobody is going on television about it and nobody is speaking to.
Okay, so this is the Sean Williams that you were asking me to look up from the news 2 years ago.
New tonight, a series of search warrant affidavits are shining new light on the Sean Williams case.
Williams, who faces federal weapons and drug trafficking charges, is the subject of 2 civil lawsuits against the Johnson City Police Department over their handling of sexual assault cases. These search
So he's a predator, a known predator, and the police fucked up, is what I'm getting so far. I don't know. How much property did the Wells have? I think a couple of acres. The tree service was from out of town. These people are trying to divert everyone. Okay.
warrants affidavits filed between May the 31st and July the 19th describe evidence of dozens of alleged sexual assaults committed by Williams found on hard drives after he was arrested on drug trafficking charges in North Carolina back in April. In our top story.
Oh, what the? He's in North Carolina? What the fuck? Now, how is Sean Williams related to this?
Story tonight, News Channel 11's John Janko joins us with what investigators say that they found.
Ashlee, in these affidavits, investigators say those hard drives contained images and video of 52 women allegedly being sexually assaulted by a man they identified as Sean Williams. They say those drives also contained thousands of images of child pornography, including two series of images of a male investigators say is Williams sexually assaulting children as young as a year old. The documents say investigators have probable cause to believe Williams has committed sexual crimes and believe other hard drives in JCPD's possession could have. even more evidence.
Police were paid $2,000 a week from Sean Williams to look up the latest $28 million paid out. So how is he related to Summers' case? Drugs and child abuse? This is fucked up.
Newly revealed documents suggest investigators have probable cause to believe Sean Williams allegedly committed aggravated rape of a child, sexual exploitation of a minor, and unlawful photography in violation of privacy. Evidence to support those potential charges came after Williams's arrest on drug trafficking charges by Western Carolina University police in April. At least 4 of those alleged recorded assaults were against women who later filed police reports with Johnson City Police. They occurred between November 2019 and November 2020. According to an affidavit filed May 31st by 1st Judicial District Investigator Mike Little, Western Carolina University Police found several digital storage devices in Williams's car, which contained.
So he's not known to, like, the family doesn't know this person. He's not lived in the area except for Johnson County, Tennessee. He's not directly related to the case.
Videos and photos of 52 women allegedly being sexually assaulted by Williams at his downtown Johnson City apartment. The affidavit says the assaults occurred while the women were unconscious. Investigators say they can identify Williams by his tattoos and face in the video. Among the files were over 5,000 images of child pornography, including 2
Oh my God.
instances where investigators say Williams sexually assaulted children, one less than a year old and another under the age of 8. The hard drive.
Oh my God. A baby that's less than a year old and a child under 8? Y'all.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
What the fuck?
Contained file folders named after victims. 2 of those victims are detailed in additional search warrant affidavits filed by Little and JCPD investigator Thomas Sparks, one happening in 2019, the other in 2020. Both described the victims coming up to Williams's apartment. The 2019 victim told investigators she drank an alcoholic beverage from Williams, felt lethargic, and blacked out. The 2020 victim said she awoke to being sexually assaulted by Williams. Rape kits were completed on both women when they made their complaints. Little's affidavit suggests there may be more evidence of Williams committing alleged sexual assaults. Almost a dozen digital storage devices were taken from Williams's apartment during a search warrant following Michaela Evans's fall from the 5th-story window in September 2020. In his
she fell from a 5th. Good Lord. Crazy said, look up the latest on him. 95 years he got just last month. I'm sure he camped out at Greenville, the same location as Paul Hill property. What makes you think he camped out there? I'm going to pay to spend an arm and buy a new one, but I predict I will keep getting worse. What's wrong? I'm sorry you're going through that. Hey, Curious Christine. Good to see you, love.
conclusion, Little writes it is highly likely, if not probable, those devices contain additional images. He requested those items thought to still be in evidence at JCPD in his successful search warrant request. They had remained with the department since the original September 2020 search warrant. Sparks and Little's other search warrants requested an oral swab of Williams to test for possible DNA matches found in the rape kits from the 2019 and 2020 victims. Although search warrants were obtained, we do not yet know if they produced any additional evidence. Little was also granted a search warrant for Meta, the parent company of Facebook, for information on Williams's Facebook profile. Williams has not been charged with any sexual assaults.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, that's the worst type of person. That's fucked up. That's real bad fucked up. Y'all, I'm gonna have to go. We've been going for almost 4 hours. So I do have to go. But we'll continue looking into the Fred Hill connection to this property that was searched, allegedly, the alleged property. I don't know if it in fact was, but it's what we have figured out or speculated to be the property. We'll continue to do that tomorrow. I'm gonna Okay, we read that. Why was he even free after they did rape kits? Great question. Sounds like he had money. Is that why? Was he a dealer? Is that how he was getting all those girls up to his place? I think it was like after parties. Like they would be at bars and then they would go up to his hotel after the bar to hang out, I guess. I don't know. Sean Williams, he could have been supplying the wells. Yeah, maybe. I need more than that, though, to say that he's directly correlated. Curious Christine, thank you so much for the super sticker. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. That helps out tremendously. I greatly appreciate that, sweetheart. That was so very sweet of you. Thank you. It states it in the news. Good night, Angela. Good to see you. Bye. Hey, Rubber. Have a good evening. I'm wondering if it wasn't Michelle I heard those interviews on. I'll go check our old videos. Okay. Yeah, if y'all know anything, let me know. Oh, I'm sorry, young Black economist. I know you will all find those interviews very enlightening. I'll definitely check it out. I will. All right, y'all. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for the support. I want to tell you that if nobody's told you, you are enough. You are important. You are special, and you are very loved. And I will be back tomorrow, and I'll see y'all then. Y'all stay safe out there. Bye.
Listen up, I gotta tell you.